issues with patches and format and whatnot. So we've got Finland versus Canada. It's a not Canada. God,
This is such a train wreck.
this is getting so much better. Okay, Finland versus China to see who will face Canada in the winners final, and we're catching up to speed. You're probably not even at the same point as me. The players are arriving to feudal, and wow, this got really bad for Beleza. That's all I'm seeing right now.
Well, I mean, he is beside a Goth player, right? And Tim has decided to go for the Goths. I'm just watching everyone get to feudal right now as Baleza's defending against that. And Tim, well, he's done some really good damage. He even had to delete the mill. I mean, that's rough.
Yep. So we're probably, I imagine the players are probably in Castle Age because of the issues we had.
At some point.
It does look like Tim doesn't have a big follow-up from his initial attack, which could be awkward. But yeah, big, like on the right side is more along the lines of what we would have expected to see on Arabia, where the teams are working together with armies and they're being very patient there. The left side's been crazy. There's a whole lot of army headed towards the Burmese player's base, is Lix. And Lix, has he just gone like fast castle here? It looks like he has.
Yep.
And he wants to go Arambai. Dang.
That's such an interesting strategy. I've seen the Goths here before, but they're always backed up by some scout player, right?
Yeah.
From the pocket. It's never been just Goths harass, distract, and then the pocket goes FC. But that's wild that he's done that. And look at the walls behind as I'm up at live time in about 15 minutes now.
Same, yep.
Oh, cool. So, awesome. We didn't miss that much.
Yeah, we're actually good to go. I thought we would have missed more of the game. Yeah, I think it was China B in early round. I didn't cover it, but I remember watching somebody else covering it who tried this exact thing. I don't know if it was Goth flank, but the idea was Burmese pocket. So certainly switching up the meta here for Arabia is China. Meanwhile, the pockets for Finland, they've got big team wall there.
They've got
So
the
we've
whole
got
corner.
a wall between Max and Valis. It's like good luck breaking through there over the course of this game.
And like the way their golds are set up too. Like they've got two neutral golds at the back of that. Like that's such a nice area that they've secured. Never getting in there.
Big fight on the right side now as we have Rubenstock Incas with Valis Slavs up against Vivi Britons and then Yo Frank. So you'd actually prefer the civilizations, at least in the long term, for China.
Such a rough position though. Like the way that Yo is on this left side and Rubenstock and Valis are controlling that hill. Vivi's done a pretty good job with his archers. And remember, these are the old Britons with the increased production. So old patch Britons are a lot stronger than they are now, or a little bit stronger at least.
A little bit. What did they? I think take off 5% or 10% of the faster production. Yeah. I really like how Finland's. Yeah, I really like how Finland's doing this. But good defense from Vivi and Yo. The fact that they're split up from each other right now is pretty wild. Like, at what point does Valis and Rubenstock dive on Vivi? I guess they can't because the town center's there.
They can't because the scouts are here from Yo doing a fantastic job. And now Valis has to respect the fact that Yo at any point can just head back with those scouts and try and find a hole into one of their bases and then force them to push into Vivi's base. And Vivi, I mean, if he keeps taking trades like this against Rubenstock, every time Rubenstock comes in, he loses 1 or 2 archers. Vivi's just going to be out-popped, and then he can defend on himself by himself. Like,
okay, so now they're thinking of engaging, and now they make a move. Now it's going to be tough for Rubenstock to reinforce because Yo's on the other side, but Vivi's still got a lot of work to do. He's got to protect his villagers here. He's got to lose 1. I still think this is actually not bad.
This is really good for China. This is really good for China, I think. I mean, the scouts from Yo are clearing everything up. Vivi is going to clear up those scouts for free in his base. The archers are coming in. I don't even think they snagged a Vil. It's really nice stuff.
Yeah, I think the scouts maybe got 1, but Rubenstock needs to escape here, and as he's trying to leave, he runs through the scouts, but it's not good for him that he did. He lost a lot of numbers there. Good for China on the right side. Very well played from Vivi, honestly.
Yeah, and
Valis... That's what you should expect from China, is Vivi and Yo are going to have a really good series today.
Valis is still not up. Ooh, some deaths over on the gold from Valesa. Valesa is up to the Castle Age, surprisingly, considering the damage that was done to him early. And maybe he can push Tim. Tim only has a tower at the front, and his eco isn't looking all that safe with the archer ranges on the opposite side of his base.
All right, so I'm getting a feel for this now, getting used to this new layout. Looks very nice. Shout out to captureage for making this happen. Lix has successfully performed the fast castle, and he's got Erenbai on the way. He's got 7. And Erenbai are a pretty nasty unit to deal with over time. What you'd want is you'd want to have a lot of archers on the field. So Beleza is going to be important. Beleza getting crossbowmen now. I mean, Tim, he's still 2 minutes from Castle Age. This is like a base layout of old for Tim. Towers, little circular walls.
He did buy
he's gonna need help.
He did buy his pocket a little bit of time, but I don't know how much damage the Erenbai can do. Like,
yeah.
The Erenbai are going to need something from Tim. They can't 1v2 knights and crossbows.
Yep. Tim so far hasn't lost a villager, though. That's not bad. And he's going to try and move these villagers back and forth so he doesn't lose them to the crossbows. He's eventually going to lose one. He's done a good job thus far not to lose any. And the tower fire could now take out the rest of the crossbows, so...
Is he going to lose one, Tristan?
Maybe lead to a clear up.
He didn't lose a single villager there. That was kind of crazy, actually. He was just moving back and forth very calmly. Goes for the tower, and the Erenbai are going to clear up the crossbows. The knights are still going to be an issue. But suddenly Tim has some time once he gets to Castle Age to do something. He's got a little bit of extra stone. Could think about a second TC maybe and start evening it up on this side. Vivi is looking very dangerous, though. He's going to be in Castle Age with Britons, and now it's his turn to camp on the hill in front of his enemy. And crossbow here on this hill with Yo already having knights and Valis still 30 seconds away. Like, why is he so late to Castle Age?
It was so important that Tim didn't get broken on this side. He's now trying to drop a town center, so he still has to be careful. But, man, the fact that Tim kept himself alive there is huge because, like you said, Dave, this mass, it seems unstoppable on the other side. Yo is way ahead of Valis, and then you have Vivi ahead of Rubenstock. Look at that TC from Rubenstock. He's like, I need to get that right now.
Like, how...
TC from Tim didn't go up yet, though.
How on earth does Yo have 10 knights by the time Valis gets to Castle Age?
Yeah.
Right? It's an uneven matchup. Valis is now producing out of 3 stables. So he's going to start queuing up knight numbers, and he's getting the +2 armor. But still, it's just a crazy snowball over here for China. And Tim stays alive.
Yep. Tim stays alive. Tim also is a civilization that can be devastating later on if they have good economy. So we'll see him make crossbows for now, but ultimately want that eco. Valis needs help now, but the problem is his help would have to come from a player who is just struggling against the very same army that has made it to his base. And it's just perfect coordination from Vivi and from Yo right now. And they've got economy to back it up. At least Yo does. This is crazy.
China's looking so strong on this side. So strong. And Tim, well, Tim still holding on. The problem for me right now is that the eco for Lix is not going to look very good in comparison to Max, who already has Cavalier as Burgundians. Yep. He's going to chase away those Erenbai. Lix will go for the second castle, so he's really going to start massing Erenbai. But like you said, they just need to keep them busy because Yo and Vivi over here are going to go ham, and they're heading over to Max now.
Yeah, 72 villagers for Max with Burgundians. And remember, guys, when he makes it to Imp, he just clicks Paladin right away because he already has Cavalier in. Double castle for Lix. I thought he'd add a second town center at some point, but it doesn't seem like he has any interest in doing that.
What a weird pairing on Arabia.
Good enough. If he continues to lose his mass like this might not pay off. He needs like 30 Erenbai for this to make sense.
Double castle, like they do produce quite quickly. Double castle, he could get up to that amount. He just has to hope that Tim keeps his army alive and that he is keeping Max distracted. Because if at any point Max comes over and they're able to 3v2 Yo and Vivi, which it looks like they're trying to do right now, could be a massive issue if this army is cleared up. Suddenly Tim and Lix are the ones that are expected to do damage, and they're not really in a position to do that.
Yeah, this is a really awkward position. This is where you have to have amazing archer control, especially. And look at Vivi, man. Vivi has continued to impress me here so far in this game. Trying to move along. Gets into the choke point, but now this is the problem. There's just simply too much army from Finland. Finland will clear this. The Britain range also doesn't have an effect now in this type of a choke. And yeah, like there's just nothing from Tim right now. There's a couple Erenbai showing up from Lix, but it needed to come a little bit faster. That said,
At least he clears up the crossbows.
Yeah, they find the crossbows there. That's not too bad.
And Yo didn't engage there to try and save in some sort of suicide pact to try and save the archers from Vivi. He just realized that he needed to get away with his knights because they had cornered them 3v2. That is the most random stable I've ever seen from Max. I don't even know what that is in the center, bro, near these units.
Oh, that one. Yeah, that is weird.
I get distracted easily, and that stable is just...
Well, that is a Max thing to do, but normally it's in the corners in a 1v1 game, not so much these team games. But, dude, he's almost at 100 vills right now. You also have Veleza at 80 vills, but Tim
has 4
is at 80 vills as well.
Tim has 4 TCs. He's getting handcart. Like, he's going to catch up with Veleza here.
Yeah, and he can make Huskarls. Now, that won't be very good against the Cavalier.
Oh, Aaron by first crossbow in the middle.
Okay.
Oh, I love watching Aaron by shred. He's taken out about 20 of them. He lost about 5 of his own, and now he's just going to peace out. So good engagement from Lix. And the Knights are there, so they might be able to clear up the remainder of those crossbows. And Vivi, once again, pushing out towards Rubenstock. Rubenstock's been on the defensive for so long here.
We have a massive group from Veleza and Valis, the 2 Vs, headed towards Yo. I do not know if Yo is aware of this, because Yo's taking a good fight with Lix in the middle, sorry.
Dude, Rohan's
and this is enough to take out all the town centers for Yo. Yo needs help fast.
Yo noticed that right away, though. Credit to him. Like, he garrisoned right away. I don't think it's going to help him that much. Also, at Valesa's base, I mean, Tim killed a bunch of villagers, and he's trying to go in. But right now, the main focus on Yo's economy as he goes up to Imperial Age. He's got 90 villagers, but he's going to lose at least 12 of those.
Oh, that hurts. His imp is not going to bring him that much value. He also only has 14 knights, which are all coming home right now.
What is this castle, Veleza? No, he's losing all of the villagers, bro.
He's losing the other fight, Dave.
Yep.
He lost the other fight against him. Disaster
He's nuked.
for Veleza.
Absolutely nuked. He's on the way to Imperial Age. We thought Yo was in trouble. Veleza just lost about 20 villagers there.
So both teams have had a player which was crucial to their success here, going up to the Imperial Age to take losses, and now Veleza can't pay attention to the Mangonel, so he gets hit a couple times, and here comes Lix, who's top scorer for his team, and he's got 32 Arambai. He's going to shred everything he sees now.
Oh,
damn.
Great clear up. Great clear up. Yo's still in recovery mode, though. You don't want your potential Paladin player to be the one that gets hit pre-Imperial Age, right? He's not going to have the resources. You can have your Arbalest player be hit, and that's the position that Veleza is in right now. 74 villagers, enough for Mayans, but this matchup over here, now that Tim has done that damage to him, suddenly gets really rough for Mayans. Goss against Mayans late game is not fun at all.
Yeah, and Max has just clicked up to Imp, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like he's going to have Paladins out. He obviously will eventually get there. Great defense from Vivi, by the way. He just got hit by Rubenstock and also by Valis. And good recovery from Valis, because it looks kind of rough for him. The last couple moments, he's been able to find the right spots, but Vivi defended from it. And Vivi 2 minutes away from him. Tim even a minute and a half away from him. And oh my God, Rubenstock's
What is he doing out here, bro? What is he doing out here? No, they're so dead. They are so dead.
You could tell Rubenstock's trying to spread his units out as well because of the way the Arambai are a bit inaccurate.
Yeah.
But if anything, it might even be helping the Arambai. I don't know how you take a better engagement there if you're Rubenstock. You just do not want to be near those Arambai.
That's a great forward castle there from Veleza. It's going to kind of put Tim on the defensive, and the Cavalier are coming over as Max is still on the way to Imperial Age. Also, great raids from Valis happening in the back of Yo's base. He's distracting that entire army. But Yo is... He's getting Cavalier now, and he's still got some Knights on the field, so he'll start to become a factor. It's only 11 Knights, though.
Oh, man. Tim is getting wrecked right now. Like, he just queued up Spears that are now pikemen, but while you can make pikes for the Cav, and while you can also then make Huskarls for the archers, if it's a combination against you all at once at this time with Siege, sometimes you just need help more than anything. And it's been all Finland here with the pressure. I know that China's cleared up a lot of the pressure, but there hasn't been any damage done to the Finns' bases for the last couple minutes, and they've got a pretty big eco lead because of it.
Arambai coming back to try and help Tim 99 villagers for him, and he's going into Halb, but the Halb won't work against the crossbows, really. Gonna have to try and treb that castle back and then work from there. Yo is recovering, and that's a good sign for Team China, but like you said, they're 50 villagers behind right now, plus 60, 70.
The thing that's interesting to me is that Licks being in Castle Age isn't that big of a deal because Ehrenby are an amazing unit for a Castle Age unit. So he could still stay in Castle Age for the next couple minutes. He could kill Paladin with a unit that does this much attack. Yeah, he's got so many Ehrenby. He'll one-shot everything he goes up against at this point. And he's going to go right underneath this castle as well. Now, Max notices it. So maybe you don't want to do that, Licks. But look, Licks is even going to try and dive through there. He's crazy.
He's going after the crossbows, man. He's going after the crossbows. And they're going to clear up that treb.
Wow.
Paladin on the way for Max immediately. I don't know where Vivi's going, but he's going on a journey somewhere. The Ehrenby are trying to get in. He's got 25 Ehrenby trying to get through that one house into Valis' eco, and Max is forced to come back there with the Cavalier. If he could sit in that choke point, could be really nice against these Cavalier.
Yep. Yeah, and this is right before Paladin for Max. So Max is losing a lot of his army. Now, his eco is still insane, and he's still got 40 cav on the field, so that's going to be fantastic for him. But look at how quickly those units go down. Also, Castle's going to go down for Veleza on the left side. It could be Halb and Huskarl spam for Tim. Like, what a great game from Tim here. What a crazy game on this left side in general for China.
What a crazy strat. Goth Burmese. Yeah, I'm just going to distract with Goths, and then you're going to go Ehrenby. Like, I thought the Arabia meta has been the most stale in this tournament, right? Like, double range archers on the flank, scouts into knights in the center, or camels, depending. But China mixing it up here a lot. And suddenly, Veleza is falling back because Max had to respond to all that pressure in the center. He's losing plumes now. And we've got 4 trebs coming forward from Tim. And Tim is in a position where he might feel like he can mix in Huskarlson, which would be really rough for Veleza.
And if you take Veleza out of the picture, then the Goth spamming straight Halb is horrible for Max. And Max, by the way, trying to engage against the Arbs and the Ehrenby. This is why he wasn't here for Veleza. I think he ultimately will clear this, but still amazing army control from China. Great job taking initiative, which now leads to the right side, where Vivi's going to take out Rubenstock. We haven't seen a lot from him, and Yo's going to have Paladin to back it all up.
And we've got Britons versus Incas, which in a 1v1 might be a little bit better for the Incas, but in a team game setting like this, when you're just fighting archer v archer on the flank, really rough for Incas.
Yep.
Really, really rough.
And I love the way Tim has played this. He just runs in with his Halbs and his Trebs, and he will probably aim for even another castle to back up his push. There is some support from the Max, who has to carry now. Valis also needs to pick it up. Only 16 army for him. But he's starting to raid, and he finds great value at Yo's base. Probably the best spot he could go before arriving to the right side to save Rubenstock.
Trade line for Finland. I mean, they're trying to get it set up, but it's not impressive right now. They're not bringing back much gold. 32 gold only at the moment as Vivi tries to wall off this right side. Rubenstock is over there fortified walling golds, which is interesting.
It's interesting that China feels they can trade from that eastern corner to the south. Normally, you would expect it to be trading from the south to the west, but there's a castle going up there from Veleza. Dude, this game is insane.
It's crazy.
This is an amazing game.
Rubenstock is in the back of Vivi where they want to set up the trade line there. He's already set up an archer range, and he's going to rat mode it over here. Yeah.
Yo does notice that random Paladin's going to deal with it.
All the trebs from Tim just went down underneath that castle. Max came over and killed 3 trebs, and now Tim is in recovery mode again, and Lix is still trying to get to Imp.
Wow.
Once he does get to Imp, though, 44 Ehrenby upgraded to Elite. Pretty tough.
And he's going to have resources as well. Sorry, I've been so focused on the action here. I didn't even have the resource panel up over the last, 15 minutes. We have no time to focus on anything. Look at Max go beast mode, man. He's finding stone miners from Tim. He's taking out a castle with his units now. He's got his own castles everywhere. But Yo and Vivi continue to push, and they're into Rubenstock's base right now.
Oh, Rubenstock has nothing left. Rubenstock has nothing left over here. He's got 106 villagers somehow. Maybe ungarrison the skirmishers from that castle, potentially, Rubenstock, at some point.
Save what villagers you have, yeah. Get the armor upgrades, Rubenstock. Save your vills.
Where are the vills? It's crazy that he has so many. I just can't. I don't even see them.
I don't. And honestly, now, if China can hold the left side, they will win this game. Because Rubenstock's going to be completely out of the picture. And Finland won't be able to trade to a corner if they lose the left-hand side as well. But crazy plumed archer number from Veleze. He's got 46.
Elite
the
Arambai
are elite, though. So we'll see how this goes. I think I would prefer the plumes because of their cost.
Yep.
But the Arambai are better against the paladins, I suppose.
I like having Franks Britons here. I really do. I think it's a pretty dangerous combo, and you can see they're just still pushing on this side, right? But the eco for Finland is still ahead. The army numbers for China are ahead. The markets are now being set up from Finland on the left side. I was a little bit confused there for a minute because there's a random market from Licks back there, but that's not doing anything.
Wow, this is ridiculous. So, I mean, I assume China's... Yeah, they already have kind of started to trade. But... your gold units are really valuable right now, as we have a castle from Valis getting denied by Yo in the middle next to that gold. And they continue their push against Valis, and Valis is kind of on his own right now, and he's going to be making Boyars. And Boyars is a really exciting unit to see, but it is simply not good enough to win a 1v2 fight.
Yep.
Left-hand side, though, Dave, you see plumes and you see paladins everywhere. Finland pushing back. They can trade in the west.
And Tim's
50 plumes.
Tim's eco kind of got hit pretty hard there too. Like 95 vills only at this stage. It's not enough, right? He needs to run.
Oh man, I'm not sure if I agree with this. The Arambai for Licks are headed towards the middle, so he's pretty much just gonna let Tim die.
So many castles.
This would probably be a team discussion, but Max has signaled it, and he's probably telling Valis and Rubenstock, like, hey, the Arambai are here. We cannot let this pass. And I feel like it's so much more valuable to keep Tim in the game right now than it is to run through here. This seems very desperate on a side where you're already winning with the other two players.
Yep. But if they break through these castles here, they're into the base of Valis, right? There's not that much there. And the Arambai, well, the Arambai are now kind of running in circles. They're running into skirms. They're running into Boyars now.
Yep.
Licks is just looking for something to do. And he's got more Arambai protecting Tim. And now the Paladins from Yo are there. So maybe that was a team decision. Like, send some Arambai over here. We'll send some Paladin over there. And then you can keep your reinforcements here. And they're holding at Tim's base.
They're actually holding. And the Arambai are now going to group up with the already deadly mass of Arbalest from the Britons. And Valis definitely doesn't have an answer now. Yo still got Paladins there in that group as well. And yeah, wow. They still have a lot of work to do to maybe stop the trade from Finland in the left, and there is a lot of trade right now.
Look at the army numbers, though.
Kept him alive.
Look at the army numbers, 100 military ahead. Like, that's a big discrepancy. And a lot of that military for Team Finland is like plumes, which in and of themselves aren't that valuable, right? You need a unit in front. You can see it perfectly right here. Like, you need a unit in front of that.
Yeah, so China has held the left. And we've got a big ball of Paladins, Huskarls, Halbs headed in towards Valis. And they still cannot stop this big Arb ball and now Arambai from China on the right side. How do you engage against this? They're going to try. We've got Kustier, we've got some Pikes, we've got Hussars, and a whole bunch of melee units here. But
I love how patient Vivi has been, which is usually not something you say about Vivi, but I love how patient he's been with these Trebs all game. Right?
Yeah,
like, he
agreed.
always has army near them, and now he's setting up towers near them. He's setting up a castle over there, and it's just one step at a time for this guy. Now he's got Halbs to protect, too, in case they come in to try and snipe.
No way.
Tim going for
spam.
5 barracks, and he's spamming in.
Dave. Look how fast the Huskarls are coming. This is what you wanted the Goths to be doing now. And all the plumes are going to get destroyed here.
Oh,
what
boy.
a game, dude. There's so much blinking on the minimap right now. There's so much happening. Ay.
That one range from Rubenstock. Oh, my God.
Are you still producing random units there?
Skirmishers.
That's the only thing he's contributed, really. I mean, he has had skirms find some Arambi kills, but if you look in Valis' base, there's just random skirms sitting there. They can't accomplish much.
I think Finland had their chance, but it's over now. Like, they still have the eco lead here. They've got trade, but I don't think there's gold units you can make that is enough to push this back. Vivi is just playing perfectly with the Britons. Exactly what you want from your Britons player. A slow, deliberate push, and then fortifying all of the area that you've taken. Tim is survival mode with the Goths, and he's in a position with 125 bills to now spam. And
as long as he can make more Huskarls.
Yep.
Yeah. As long as he can make more Huskarls to stop Veleza from pushing past him, then I think this could be okay for them.
What's the KD on Licks right now? That's what I want to see.
Well, I was surprised that the Arbs only had 53 kills here. For
274 to 149. So he's been getting some pretty good value with Aaron by.
He's made a lot of them. Like, he's at 70 now. And in a map where you are late to trade compared to most games, it's valuable to have units that you can really mass up and then keep alive, right? It's like the hit and run style units. Whereas a knight or a paladin, you're engaging, and oftentimes you're not really microing them away. You're just making more units.
Tim has 69 halbs. It's almost to the point where you don't even care if you have halbs versus plumes. just send it.
Yeah, and the Arambai have moved in. The Arbs are slowly following. This is right to the trade route for Finland, where we have a Desperation Castle from Valis. And it is cheap for the Slavs to drop these castles, but it's still just another sign that they cannot stop this massive, massive ball of army.
Yep. And look at this. Vivi's still being patient. He's walling off his trebs, Tristan.
What?
These trebs have stayed alive for so... I don't think he's lost a treb yet.
Yeah,
I don't
now
think he's
that you
lost
said
a
it,
treb
he'll
all
probably
game.
lose one.
No, he won't.
He doesn't even lose one there. That's insane.
It's crazy. Buildings raised for him at the end of the game is going to be nuts, honestly.
Yeah. Also adding keeps, like the amount of fortifications he's brought in has been awesome. China really opening this series with a bang. I had someone predict, well, I think Finland wins this 4-2 and China wins on Nomad. And I thought about it. I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, China, they've only been getting better in this event. Finland and China have always been close. And I'd said Vivi and Yo could possibly outperform some of the other Finns here today. And the question was Tim and Lix. And Tim and Lix's side did some crazy things in this game that we really just don't see on Arabia these days.
They're going to run out of wood soon, Finland.
Yeah, there's a lot of choppage there.
Yeah.
More castles are going up, but now your castles cost wood, so you almost prefer the castles.
Oh, the Arambai are coming in towards the plumes. Oh, no. Oh, geez. Oh, boy. You got to run. But where do you run to? You run to the back corner of the map?
Welcome to my trade route, you say, as you back up to this hill. You pretty much need to clear this entire army from the opponent, or the game's over.
Veleza does have 6 castles, though, over on the left side. He's getting fortified walls in front of it. He is secure.
Dave, I love how you said you could almost just spam halves into plumes, and Tim's like, yup, that's exactly what I'm doing. He's got 5 Huskarls in queue. He's like, nothing other than just halves, just keeping those plumed archers there.
Yep.
Here come the trebs, Dave. And the villagers are still just building fortifications, building up these keeps in this area, making it more and more difficult for the enemies to regain this land's control.
Uh-oh, Castilier are there, and Vivi pulls the trebs back. He's like, I've kept these alive. It's a mission now. Kept these alive all game, not losing them. More Castilier coming in from the other side, though, so we'll see if Vivi manages to secure these. They're now pulling their army back. Arbalest maybe dying. Finland on the cusp of a pushback, potentially?
70 trade for Max. 50 trade for Veleza. 40 for Valis. Rubenstock doesn't have much trade.
Werewolf on these trebs.
Oh, true. Good dodging there from Rubenstock. He knew exactly what was happening there. Finally, some of these trebs are going to go down. And wow, I mean, Finland has held. There's only a 80 population difference. How on earth have they held against this? You got 40 trade for Yo. We got 20 trade for Vivi. Dave, I actually think there's a chance because China doesn't have near as much trade. Look at the plumes on the left side for Veleza. He's keeping his castle up. He's taking the trebs out. And like, Tim's going to start going skirm right now.
Oh, God. He's going... He is going petards, though. He's going to try and petard through to the trade line.
Look at Max use his 2 trebs on the left side to take out that 1 treb from Tim. Like, the fact that you're doing everything else and then also defending your teammate's castle like that is just insane to me.
I think if China sense that this game is starting to turn around, and it's incredible that Finland have even got us to the point where we're discussing this, it's still unlikely.
Yeah.
They need to start walling even further forward. They've already got the walls down from Vivi. He's done a fantastic job with the fortified walls, even though some of their trade is leaving through those gates. But, like, wall even further forward on the map.
I think what we have witnessed here, too, is they advanced very far, China, but they didn't have production buildings right behind each push.
Yeah.
So they got so deep into Finland's base that Finland was right next to their reinforcements, and Finland was able to recover due to that. So this is time for China to sort that out. And like you said, play extremely safe with walls, expanding that, and always adding more trade. You never want to stop that.
For the first game. What an absolute
seriously.
banger.
We hope it's not the best game of the series, right? We hope this is just a sign of things to come. But this might, when this series concludes, be one of the best ones because Finland's still got tons of gold. Just crazy gold counts coming in right now. 69 trade cards for the Max. But unfortunately for him and then for Veleza, there's now 2 people on this left-hand side again. And that trade is not far away from those Arambai, and those Arambai are about to dive into that trade.
They're going to get in. But like I said before, there's like 6 castles here from Veleza. So there's nowhere you can sit safely.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Also, Rubenstock kind of back in the game. 103 villagers now. Halb Skirm just being spammed.
Yes. Still a big question on what you make. But, you know, the other side's making skirms as well. I think you don't make any gold units until you have about 40, 50 trade carts, and he's still a long way away from that. I like the shift here from China, though.
Do you think Licks can shift into elephants at some point, or would you like to just keep them on Arambai?
Shifting into elephants probably wins the game, but you don't want to do it before you can afford it, right?
Yeah.
So, same thing. Your trade count is at 35. Wait till it's at about 50 and you're banking gold. Then you start to consider it.
Ooh, Vivi's pushing again. Vivi is pushing again. And he's going elite longbow now. So he's starting to get the ultimate mass from Britain's. Terrifying.
The Britain dream here, man. This has been a really crazy game for Vivi. Of course, if you're just arriving here today and you're new, you'd see the name Noob. And you'd think, well, this guy must not be very good, and then you've seen this gameplay. Remember, he was up against it early feudal. I know that Britons are better than Incas, but he defended super nicely. He and Yo have been carrying this team.
God, these Arambai are so good at stopping pushes, but they just can't push against this. But every single time Max or Veleza tries to come forward with military, Licks is all over it. Literally all over it.
I think there's an argument to be made that the Arambai are actually more valuable than ever going elephants here because they kill so many units at once when you do the stop micro or just patrol in.
Yeah.
This is crazy. And this is what's going to lose Finland the game. They're losing fortifications. They just do not have castles. Whereas if you look all throughout the bases of China, there's fortifications, there's towers. And normally that is what's going to make the big difference over time. And it's been a patient approach here from China. But more of these castles are going down here for Veleza as he backs further and further into his corner now.
And the Arambai are just pushing him. They're just pushing him further back. The Paladin are here from Yo running cover. Trade carts are going down. I'm so stunned that the population is even this close. Finland has been holding on to this little speck of map that they control. Like literally 1/5 of the map for so long. But the plumes are dying, and there's 11 plumes on the field now. 8 plumes, 7, 6.
Yep, and the trade route's right there. Like, you don't even need to take out more castles. Obviously, they will. But if the Arambai just sit here for another couple minutes, it is absolutely done. This is the final nail in the coffin. Max is showing up now. He was a little late in support, probably because he has to support the other side, too, where Vivi's making more towers. Surely he's buying stone, right? Like, I know there's a lot of extra stone on this Arabia version, but...
I mean... He probably got
30
some
towers.
He probably got some from like Rubenstock's base. He's mining stone with one guy.
Maybe.
He's definitely buying stone though, definitely.
Yeah, he's got trade. He hasn't really been losing a lot of army. Would make sense.
I don't see him buying anything on the left side. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I disabled those because of the spam that can come in
GG.
sometimes in these games. But yeah, GG. And we had a rough time getting into this game, but thank God we got into it. It was a good one to start off the series. And Vivi with 181 units produced on his side. He was the highest for his team, which seems like very little compared to the Max. Max made 377 Custiers, and that's not even counting the Cavalier. That's crazy.
That's crazy. He had a really good boom with Burgundians. Max in the pocket, man. It's going to be super strong. But like Vivi played that so patiently on the other side, right? He was just holding. Him and Yo were in a bad position early. They managed to clear that up. That Finland getting a little impatient, and then Yo was like 4 minutes faster to Castle Age than Valis. I don't know what happened there for Valis, but he was very slow. And Rubenstock got pushed back because of it. And then Valis and Max got pressured in the center. And the right side was always winning for China. It was just always winning.
It was really good. And then it was just on the left side not to die. Like what Tim and Lix did was extremely risky. And oftentimes leads to someone dying in feudal age. Remember, Lix had to, when we just got into the game, he had to successfully fast castle without taking losses. But then that pressure stemmed right over to Tim. You remember that point where Tim was in his tower in feudal and went back and forth with those vills?
Didn't lose
any. Yeah. It's like things like that just really impressed me here. And maybe that kind of made the difference in the game.
Like watching China early, Tim was always kind of like the weakest link on their team. But like I said, the last set, he played really strong. So Tim might just be starting to feel it now. Vivi had 116 buildings raised that game. The next best was 53 from Yo. And Yo had it like, Yo was underappreciated that game. Just playing pocket Franks, being everywhere with the Paladin. Really, really nice.
Also, clarification there. I don't think the ARB number was the highest for the team. I think captureage just picks
the highest
top score. Yeah. And that's something I should have known. But yeah, good first game here. And hopefully a sign of things to come. I was impressed with the overall play there from China.
Look at that eco for Max. Oh my God.
Really hurts to lose a game when you're on top. Oh
my God, dude.
Look at his gold count, man.
He sent 22K as well.
Yeah. He tried to do what he could. And, you know, Veleza and Max were able to have a good performance, but it's just Valis and Rubenstock weren't able to handle Yo and Vivi.
The fact they held there for so long is crazy.
Yeah, and you remember that time where Lix ran across the map and just kind of let Tim on his own, and we just thought they just let Tim die? That was, in hindsight, maybe a good calculated risk there because Tim was able to hold on enough, and then the Erenby arriving to the other side distracted the Max, and then Max wasn't able to focus on Tim as much, and just a lot of reacting there. But yeah, great game. I don't think there's much more we can say about it. Hopefully the next game's going to start here shortly.
So Finland used only one of their drafted civilizations. China used 2. So it's not too bad for either team. And then if you scroll down and look at the available civilizations at the bottom, obviously it's going to be 3 used there from Finland and 2 from China.
Yeah.
I can mark those with like, I think we can mark those with like colors or whatever.
What I'm doing is I'm doing the 1 for Finland because that's blue and the 2 for China.
Yeah.
Because that's red, but it is kind of hard to pick up on from a viewer's perspective.
I'm just not even gonna mark that.
Yeah, just don't deal with it.
I did the first civ and I was just like, yeah.
No, thank you. Yeah, it's annoying, but I'm gonna do it unless they launch the next game. By the way, if you have a are you good with what you're using now, or do you want the Nations Cup build?
No, I'm good with what I'm using.
Good?
I'm just gonna use what works. I mean, this is perfectly fine. So
sure, yep. Just wanted to make sure. Oh God, yeah. I went to go do the method I suggested, and I'm hating every second of it. But this is fine. We could have tougher lives. I'll do it just to keep track. So is there a bounce back map that you have there if you're Finland? Obviously, you're not coming
I
in here
mean,
expecting this to be an easy series.
you save Black Forest because that's 100% win, or 95, as close as you can get for 100% win. But I think you go like 2 rivers here, maybe. Just slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I actually haven't seen these teams play Two Rivers. I know there were some epic games on Two Rivers in this event. I think one might have even incorporated China, but I'm not too sure on how the teams choose to play it.
China, usually, depending on how it sets up, usually it's in like a horizontal L where you have 3 players on one side and then 1 player in the middle area. Sometimes you have 2 and 2, which is a bit more interesting. Like that's what China got last time against Brazil. But if it's the standard setup, then what China will do is they'll have 3 players fishing on one river with 1 player contesting water there, usually a pocket. And then they'll have another one of their players going forward and contesting the water on the other side. And China, the unique thing about China is that they use their pockets to contest the water instead of the flanks. Their flanks will go land, or sometimes even FC. But yeah, it's a little bit difficult on this map. It depends on the generation. Yo, DJ Baba, thank you for the 22 months. Brunch Food, thank you for the 2 months. King Nikki, thank you for the 13. Welcome back, Nikki. Monos, thank you for the raid, bro. Welcome in, everyone. 40 minutes ago. Well, if you're still here, welcome in. Hola. Wormy, thank you for the 3 months, my dude. Milk, thank you for the 12. Schamberger, thank you. Welcome back. Nefercore, 19 months. Let's go. Evasive Rabbit, 4 months. Let's go, dude. Thank you for all the follows, everyone. Yeah, T90 is muted. I guess he just started talking about something else after he asked me the question on how they play, so that's great. Maybe he doesn't realize he's muted. Maybe he doesn't realize. Is it better for Canada if China or Finland wins? I don't know. We're going on to Nomad, by the way. Tristan, you here?
Oh shoot, I was muted. My bad, dude.
Oh, I was like, bro, that was a really abrupt mute. Like we were discussing things, and then you just started. I went on this whole spiel, and there was no response.
My bad. No, and I was thinking the same. I was like, why isn't Dave responding to me? He's being so rude right now.
All right, we got Nomad.
I was just saying, Finland going for Nomad after losing the first game. Some might consider slightly risky, but both teams are very good on it. And then we've got civilizations here which could just dominate on Nomad with old balance, because this is still not the new and improved Nomad balance. So Persians, Malians, specifically for Finland, should look very strong. And then Spanish is really the big one for me. Vivi in the red for China.
Yep. Also, though, they have Spanish, but I mean, Finland has Dravidians, Persians, Malians, which is just a disgusting start for Persians and Malians in particular. But Dravidians on here means you don't need to build that house when you make the dock, right? So you can just immediately go for that dock. You save the wood. You get your fishing ships early. And with civs like Persians and Malians, that means fishing ships immediately. Yep. Very, very nice.
Yeah, so when I say standard approach, Persians, Malians, typically you're going to have one of them go water. The other one might go fast castle into scouts or into knights or something. When we're talking Spanish, though, it's all about conquistadors, really. And you want to have a dock in a safe position so your fishing ships are safe. For Vivi, his dock is pretty safe.
Well, Valesa is up there, and he'll probably go water with Dravidians,
Oh,
right?
that's true. That's true. Yeah, Valeza's there, and then Max is on the other side. So that could be an issue right there. But the bigger overall talking point would be the fact that we've got 4 players in one section We've got Lix and we've got Valis quite close, which is something Lix will like if he finds that out because he likes to be a pest. And then nearby, we also have Yo, and Yo will be able to share that information with Lix because of the team bonus of Vietnamese. And then also the max, too. So, yeah, I mean, we've got some key players here.
I think the problem for Finland is that they probably want Valis going water with Malians, right? And the fact that he's so close to Yo as well. Oh. Okay, they called a
restart. Well,
and
we knew
it's a re from Team China, so they didn't like their positioning here probably, or maybe someone couldn't find a boar. Looks like maybe Lix couldn't find. Yeah, Lix didn't see any food. No food at all.
Could be just a rough start for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And had he maybe seen that boar, maybe they don't call it, but you have one restart per team. So we might see it again. I mean, we have African clearing in this best of 7 as well. So wouldn't surprise me if there's another eventually.
Yeah. So in the draft, if you look at it, China basically gave up the chance for to deny the Vikings Dravidian synergy if they wanted to go for that on a water map by picking Spanish. So they basically gave up that Vikings pick, which meant that Finland could get Dravidians on Nomad specifically for this setup. So China did get Britons on Arabia, but still, the Spanish pick did cost them. It seems very strong for Nomad, but that only affects one player, right? Dravidians and Vikings affect the entire team.
And you have the Dravidians, which is combined with the Persians and the Malians. This is big for Finland here. You've got 3 picks from your selections here on one map. Pretty big overall, actually, right? Because you've got, was it just Spanish, I guess, and Vietnamese from your picks if you're China? But yeah, I really like this system. I know why it's used. It's used because there's just
too many games.
Too many games. But I think if we have 3v3 and 4v4 events in the future, I would honestly prefer this type of system over a standard back and forth draft the whole way through. I would just love to have an easier way of showing
it, yeah.
The details, but if we could maybe have people work on that before the next 3v3 or 4v4 tourney, it'd be really sick. Like maybe flags or something.
It's so much like strategy in the draft, right? Like China could have left Vietnamese in this draft. They picked it 6th here? Very strong option for Nomad, but you could leave it, and I could see a world where that just falls down into the admin picks category, and then maybe they both pick it on Nomad or African clearing. It's just, you got to really, really consider the maps, and you got to consider not only what civs you want, but what civs you want to deny your opponent. It's probably even more important.
And the thing that I like about it too is that there's less instances where I feel like, well, that game's going to be over due to civs, right? Because they're sharing a pool of civilizations. So I'm in now. Looks like there was no spec delay.
Yep.
So we should be good. Is always possible that we have a restart of sorts here again. It would have to be from Finland.
Look at this dog.
We've got Nomad,
bro. I have a private little bay in here. I hope his fishing ships don't pop out on that side.
Wait, where is it? Oh, I hate that.
I know, it's so annoying. And it's even further away from the fish. Like, that's just an awful dock. If you put it on the left side, it's okay, but...
Yeah, I wonder if maybe he'll feel like his TC is really good, though. He's right next to a boar. He won't know this, but he is pretty far away from everyone as well, so he would maybe like that. Yeah. Now, he's probably like, hey, guys, he signals his dock. That's normal to do, is say, this is where my dock is.
He's probably chuckling right now, if I know Matt. He's probably like, look at this. Guy's never seen this one before.
Yep. And, I mean, he's going to find one fishing ship that is a bit further than what you would want, or, sorry, deep fish.
That's not that bad, though. It's not terrible.
Yeah. Let's see if there's anything else that's weird for the positioning then. Because you've got Valis. He looks like he's had as breezy a start as you could ask for. Rubenstock. His TC's fine. Nothing crazy about it. And then Veleza as well. I do notice that a lot of the Chinese players are all together here, though. You've got Tim, Burgundians in the orange. Yo right behind him is Vietnamese. And then Vivi right next to him. So
And
they can
then
kind of protect each other.
there's also like a pathway between Lix and 3 of the Finnish players. Like
Yeah.
Lix is off to the side, but he'll know exactly where the Finns are because of the Vietnamese, right? So they can see all of the TCs here, know exactly where these guys are. And Lix now has 3 different targets to harass with the Malay. And China has their Spanish player in the most protected area of any of them. So, I mean, they're going to feel pretty good here. Assuming that Vivi can somehow keep his fish alive, which is going to be a hard task because Rubenstock and Valessa are right on the other opposite sides of his dock.
Yeah, and he will know that there's an enemy dock to the left of him because he lost a sheep there. He does not know that Rubenstock is to the right of him, though. It's kind of interesting. If you look at the Malay dock vision, just look at it from Vivi's dock, he's super close to seeing Rubenstock's dock.
Oh my god. same with Vivi and Yo.
Yeah, he should be able to see the seagulls that are flying above the dock, if anything.
They'll see the fishing ships at some point, right? Like Yo will go that way. Yo likes going for the 2 galley approach a lot of the times. Yo and Lix both kind of take that role for China. And I think with Malay, Lix might do it again. So Lix might run around and snipe the fish from Valessa at the top, and then Yo might try and take care of the ones from Valis and from Rubenstock. And Yo has just signaled the dock down there from Valis.
Yep.
The Malian player's dock.
Yeah, just great scouting with the sheep. That's such an important part of Nomad. So they have located either where the docks are or where they are not. For example, if you look at the north, that is some thorough scouting along shorelines there, which tells them that probably Max, for example, would be maybe towards the south. So we'll see how this pans out. You would expect Finland to have the better start with Persians and Malians and the Dravidian bonus combined and all that. And that's why Finland had 3 picks from their top draft for this particular map. So yes, China's good at Nomad, but Finland felt like they had the civs for it here. And I think it's really going to be on Vivi to have an amazing game with Spanish and Conquistadors to be able to somehow push back against those 3 stronger civilizations.
I'm surprised Lix hasn't come forward to try and take those boars. He sees the 2 boars south of Rubenstock's and east of Valessa's base. As Valessa is now luring one of those in. That would be so like him to go and take those early.
Just go out and take that. I could see him going water for the team almost. I'm really curious on how this is going to pan out. Especially if China realizes Rubenstock is there, and God, they're so close to encountering each other. You do not want Vivi to be there with the fish.
I think
and you don't
Vivi
want
is
him
leaving.
to contest water.
I honestly think Vivi is leaving with his fish pretty soon. He's redocking on the left side.
That's so smart. Yeah, just don't even invest there anymore.
Yeah,
just have safe fish elsewhere.
He signaled over there, and they found the dock from Max now, and they also found the dock from Valessa. I think China knows where every single dock is here.
That's so cool. The fact that we're 8.5 minutes in, they have to look for all these resources, and they already know where the docks are. And I think at this point, they've been even more thorough with it, and they know who it is.
Yep.
Right?
Well, they can do process of elimination, right? They don't know for sure it's Max. They know it is Valessa. They still don't know about Rubenstock, and now they're going to see the villager from Rubenstock and the fishing ships, so...
Yeah. Rubenstock has known that there's been a dock there for Vivi, though. Maybe he didn't until now. I'm not actually sure. They clearly noticed each other here. And they could just have a Vil war here. But Valeza's bringing his Vil as well. The teamwork. Or maybe that's for another dock. Might be for another dock,
yeah,
actually.
he can't engage. He needs to build.
Yeah. All right, so that villager for Vivi is just going to wander home eventually. And let's see if he sends the fishing ships away. They're kind of stuck right now behind his dock on that shore.
Just making more on the other side. Maybe this is like, okay, maybe it's like a situation where you let them think they've killed your fish as Spanish, and you say, oh, Spanish are in a terrible position. They killed their fish. Oh my God, what happened over here? Max got his villager walled off his dock with a gate.
Absolutely did. Yep, random little gate next to a dock. Don't think I've seen that before. He obviously didn't lose the villager, though, which is huge. He is going to get a second dock up anyways. It looks like he and Velez are going to be the ones fighting water. And for China, we'll see what happens. Lix is up now. And he's got galleys, so he is going to go galleys. But, you know, the problem I see is that he is pretty far away from the fishing ships for all the other players, right? Like, the closest player to him would be Veleza, who's also going galleys. And then, like, Valis is pretty safe on water. Max will be contesting water. So I just don't know if the position for China is going to be all that good on the seas. But yeah, fishing ships for Vivi are going to just flee now, which is probably the right play.
Rubenstock also has redocked up in the north there, and his fishing ships are going to run away.
Yep.
As we see our Dravidians player going water, and also Max is going to go water on the other side. So he's going to try and squeeze Vivi's fishing ships from that angle. That's going to be really annoying for Vivi. I think Lix is also stonewalling, which is really weird. That's very anti-Lix gameplay right there.
Yeah. Well, how many times have you tried to play water for your team on Nomad, and then someone goes fast castle and kills you with Knights and Siege?
Yeah.
So I think that's maybe the approach here. He is going water. He's not doing anything funky on land. So you are right. Normally you'd expect Lix to go crazy on land. But thus far, not the best start for him against Veleza. Veleza with perfect micro and able to pay attention to all this. And advantage Veleza right now on water. Max is eventually going to complete his dock, it looks like, because he's going to batter down that gate. That was pretty creative from him, and he's going to be able to kill the fish.
Yeah, he's denying the fish boom from Vivi, and he's going to hit the fish as well from Tim, who is going scouts here. And Tim has gone for a tower behind the woodline there from Valis, and he's going for another tower on the stone from Veleza.
Huh.
And here come the scouts. Tower scouts is really powerful. Really
it's going to affect two players, right? It's going to deny the stone and the gold from different players here. The only areas you can't really hit with the scouts are the areas around the town center. And unfortunately on Nomad, oftentimes a lot of their resources are right underneath that town center, but that is not exactly the case for every resource here.
That tower denies so much. The stone, the gold, the woodline, again, like it cuts them off. I would love to see it get walled in, but it's not going to because he'll just go for a third one. Okay, fine.
Yep. And he figures he'll probably bring more scouts over, but Davey hasn't killed anything yet. And we have Castle Age on the way for Rubenstock. Rubenstock's mining stone with Koreans. And then we also have Valis in a position to be able to make some knights. Now, he just relocated to another gold. He walled up a little bit from the scouts. Valis has taken very little damage to this at the end of the day.
Ooh, Veleza now getting a villager walled in. He went for a tower on Tim.
Yep.
So he wasn't happy about the tower on him.
Wasn't happy about the tower on him.
So he went for a tower on Tim.
And so he towered Tim.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yo and Vivi currently sharing the stone over by Vivi's base, and Vivi's about to be Castle Age, and Vivi will have enough stone for a castle, and that castle is going to go forward, likely on Valis's TC, or is it just going to be to defend Tim's base? As Veleza now goes for a tower of his own on the goal, but Tim is like, no, I've got 12 vills, bro. And he's going to get this one up, and his scouts are going to be prowling around waiting for those villagers to run.
Well, I like this from Tim to pull villagers knowing you could attack through the corner here.
Oh, Valesa's so dead, bro. Look at the Vivi villagers are coming forward. He's so dead.
Wait, I don't even know where they are at this point.
They're in the middle of Tim's base right now.
Oh, yeah, they blended in, yeah. And he's going to drop it in a position where it hits Valis, as Valis is trying to go for a siege workshop. It also could affect Veleza here. Now, remember, the fish advantage is for Finland right now. And also, Rubenstock's going to be dropping a castle, but I'm surprised he hasn't dropped it on Lix, honestly. He's going to place it defensive.
Valis can't get through the gate with those villagers. He's trying. He can't get through it. And now he's going to have to come with knights and spearmen, and he deletes it, and he's going to save them. But there's a castle there. Rubenstock also going for a castle of his own. We take a look at water right now, and it looks like Max has done some work on the water, and Veleza is still queuing up galleys, but he is under a significant amount of pressure on the land and going to be under more with Conks coming out soon.
Dave, I want to show this. Vivi relocated another dock. He has been fishing this whole time. It is near where Lix docked. So I looked at his eco count. I was like, how does he still have his fish? He still has food income from that, which means he can make conquistadors. And that is so important to China's chances here. And great job from Lix with the stone walls. Has been able to hold kind of 1v2 on water a little bit. protect himself, compete against Max and Veleza.
Vivi has lost 1 fishing ship this entire game.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
And if he loses them in 5 minutes, it's fine at that point because he's transitioning to farms and town centers and whatever else. It's just the early stages as we see the scouts chasing down Veleza. Veleza running into Rubenstock's castle with villagers. Veleza is trying to escape while he can. And War Wagon's out from Rubenstock. He's really going to need a lot of them here, Dave.
Tim is a menace to society. Like, he's got so many towers here, dude. And he's got the scouts around. Like, he's done exactly what his team needed him to do, basically.
Yeah. Normally, what you want to do is you want to be on the way to Castle Age right now if you're Veleza, expecting to eventually lose that TC, and then you make more TCs elsewhere. But he's like, he doesn't have his buildings yet. He's still a couple hundred food away from clicking up, and he's got units everywhere. Like, this is awkward. Tim's going to find another villager kill as long as he blocks. No, never mind. Conquistadors also, for Vivi, have found the Max trying to build a TC in the north. Remember, he's been pretty safe, so he thought he could just straight boom, but not today, man.
Yeah, Rubenstock's going to have to send the wagons over there. But until you get, like, Bodkin and Ballistics, the wagons don't feel that great against the Kongs.
Velez is running, bro. He's actually done a great job to keep Eco alive. I'm so surprised he still has over 40. And to be honest, Tim could have done a slightly better job in a lot of these engagements to kill the Vils. Rubenstock's there to support.
Oh, look at Lix's
down
base.
for Max.
Look at Lix's. Lix literally rang the town bell, bro. I heard it.
Lix has knights, and he has war wagons circling like sharks if there's blood in the water right now. Aye. This is Nomad, so we're trying to follow it the best we can. This is a crazy game here.
Double monastery set up for Max to defend against these conquistadors.
Yeah, I like that.
Rubenstock.
It's awkward with Persians because they don't get Sanctity, but it is still something. And I like Valis doing the same. He's got monks, and he's got camels. Lix needs some support on land right now, man. This is rough.
Yep. Lix is quadruple stacking that wood line. 20 villagers trying to get at one tree right now. That's how. And he's got another 10 underneath the TC doing nothing. Lix is completely idled at home as the knights are on his gold. The war wagon is on his wood line. And now he's taking berries with 31 vills.
Yeah, this is rough. And he's actually in a much worse position than Veleza is, the player who's just had to run. Now, Veleza is probably going to make it to Castle Age. That TC is upping right now. It's not being attacked by anything.
Ooh.
And if Finland just holds here, their eco count's been climbing. You just need to defend from this double unique unit push.
It's going to be tough, man. I mean, Rattan archers deal with the monks, right? And then the conks come in. They'll take out the camels. The rams behind will take out the buildings. Valis is in a really rough spot. He's trying to add another TC behind it. Trying to go for mangonels to defend and hoping that Rubenstock will have enough to send over here. But Rubenstock, until he gets ballistics, is going to struggle to micro against these conks.
And Tim's about to be castle, and Tim will have enough stone for a castle to drop one. And then we'll have another unique unit, which is just terrifying in the Fusilier running around. So, yeah, Dave, it really feels like the military on land is significantly stronger for China right now. As long as they could stabilize their economy while making these units, they have a chance. Also, Lix is making Lix is making spearmen versus the wagons. He lost like 6 spearmen there.
He's just trying to buy himself time, dude.
Yeah.
and now he's losing more vills on the wood line. Lix is in trouble here. The conks are looping around towards that TC from Valis, but there's spearmen there and a mangonel and monks, and I think that TC will probably go up in time. Nice attack round. Oh my god, that was sick.
That was really good. But, I mean, he's had to... Man, Valis has had to do a lot here because he had Rattan archers on his other TC at the same time. And I think he's going to be the one who gets castle dropped, honestly.
Yeah, maybe.
It's close by. You want to continue this push here and take Valis out of the game. That's where I'd be dropping my castle if I were Tim. But he isn't showing it right now. I don't know what he's doing with all that stone then.
Max finally finding the fish from Vivi. Finally. He cleared up an entire dock before, but he's busy. Obviously, he's busy with other things. And he has 18 fishing ships of his own, Max. Like, Max has a decent economy behind
And
this.
Max is in the position he thought he was going to arrive to in this game, where he's just straight booming. He doesn't really have to contribute. This
7
is why-
HP on that castle. Oh my god. Ruben Stock saw it. He almost denied it from Tim. There was 7 HP on that castle foundation. Oh my god. If War Wagons didn't shoot so slow, dude.
So, I mean, this is a position where it's easy for us to say, obviously, when we're casting, but that castle does not do anything to help them win this game.
Nope.
You need that castle to be forward with all your army here. Like, you are falling behind economically because Rubenstock and Max have been untouched. And you have, like, a player in feudal age right now. Lix, I don't know if he's speaking to them right now, but he should be portraying, like, hey, I'm basically dead. So that castle from Tim absolutely needed to be forward somewhere. And now look at Valis. While he has the time, he's going to drop a castle to defend himself.
Mm-hmm. It's looking good
really
for Finland,
good for
man.
Finland now.
It's
yeah.
They've managed to hold here, and they got the fish boom up behind. Lix is still trying to kill some units with those galleys, and still trying to kill some units with galleys over on the right side. But Max taking control of the water, and Max has 4 TCs with Persians.
Lix might get defeated. Look at his walls right now. Rubenstock's like, all right, I'm coming in, and I'm bringing more. Oh, jeez, dude.
War Wagons are ridiculous. Like, if you're in feudal, you just literally can't do anything. Your best answer to War Wagons in feudal age is get up to castle age.
Yep. He's still making
He's so
spears.
dude, it's gotten to the point where Rubenstock can just sit under this TC.
Yeah. Yeah, the TC will go down super quick. And honestly, they shouldn't be trying to save Lix. They should be trying to kill others. But that brings me back to what I was saying a moment ago, right? Like, the pressure needs to be constant. The second it's not constant, you're going to have some problems. Great work from Vivi to try and raid Max real quick. But, I mean, Lix, he's running now.
Yeah, this is the experience play.
He's got to run through Valis' base.
This is the experience play from Lix, which is like, just get out. Just get out.
Yeah.
And now he's walling behind.
Yeah. That's the way to do it. But Valis sees it, dude. This is not... There's no escape here, right?
Well, I mean, Tim is coming over with 8 monks.
Okay.
And Imperial Age is now on the way for Yo. And we haven't talked about Yo. He's got 86 vills.
That's huge.
And Yo is never a bad guy to have booming. Probably the best on Nomad to have in your boom position.
I like how Valis isn't even trying to kill these villagers. He wants them. He wants to convert them. And Lix is going to run away again. Let's go. Is TC still up as well? Rubenstock is left. So he's alive.
They can sling down in age. So they might be able to
when they're in Imp, though.
Is it only when they're in Imp? I thought it was
I think
just
it's
down
only
in
when you're in
age.
Imp.
Okay.
You could be right, though, that you can sling down in age regardless.
Ooh, Vivi's thinking about another castle forward. Maybe on Max this time, but Rubenstock is there with the War Wagons. And the Conks, like, once you have this amount of numbers with ballistics, the Conks don't feel so good against War Wagons anymore.
Yo, forward castle right before Imp
on
Valis. Valis has 2 mangonels. This is really bad for Yo. If this doesn't
and
go
he's getting redemption in 25 seconds here, Valis. So he just needs to delay this castle being built. And I think Yo might run away. And once redemption is in, he could stop this.
This castle's not going up.
No.
I mean, he could wait for Bracer and Chemistry or get some really good shots. But like you said, now that redemption's in, the siege should just be converted here. Yo should realize when he sees those monks what that means. And
big
redemption's
shot!
Big shot on both sides.
Does the castle go up, though? Does the castle go up?
Yeah.
Yo just immediately deletes that mangonel, and the castle goes up. He did the math. I think, maybe.
Also, another castle from Vivi, Dave, with a ton of monks from Tim. Tim, good luck clicking all these war wagons. There's 40 of them. But at least supports his teammate enough, and the castles for China do go up. They paid a price for it, though.
Yeah, those conks are not going to do well against those wagons. Dude, that's 31 war wagons. Holy. Another castle here from Tim this time on Valis, but Valis has been castle dropped before, and he's made it through. He's been castle dropped twice now, and he's doing fine, so.
Yeah. And this is a comfortable spot for Veleza and for Max to build up towards Imp, it feels like. Rubenstock and Valis, the players who are really under the most pressure. Obviously, you know, Max did just get castle dropped, but he's got an incredible eco. You need to see something more from China now to break this situation. And with the faster Imperial ages, it's going to be Trebs. Valis could be in trouble, but it's still not Lix who's still stuck in feudal. Lix is just... Yeah, he's a non-factor in this game. There's nothing he can really contribute with. He doesn't even have Navy anymore.
Yeah, the only thing he's contributing right now is that his stone walls are cutting off some resources from Tim Finland. That's about it.
Yeah, and he could maybe tower some random areas, but he just has to basically, in the voice chat, just be very positive towards his team and pump him up a little bit.
You're doing great, boys.
Yep.
You're doing great.
I'm sure he's probably just not speaking at all. That's normally what happens. The dead player just doesn't say a word.
No, if I know Lix and Mem says, or not Mem, sorry, Yo says he's like kind of like the Mem of the Chinese, like yelling crazy, right?
Yeah.
He's like 10 times Mem, right? Lix is probably screaming right now.
But what will hurt Valis is that he's relocating all of his eco, and he's not imping, right? So he is not going to be contributing.
All his TCs are going to die. Like, Valis is on the run, man. Valis is on the run for an extended period of time. Rubenstock does have a ton of war wagons, but he's kind of distracted at the back by the mobility of the conks. And Koreans, even with this amount of war wagons, it's going to be a fairly slow push for him.
Vivi is so freaking good, dude. Like...
He is.
I guess it's just the way these Chinese players use the units like the Conquistador and the Arambai, but their lack of hesitation to dive in and just run past castles and whatever else, it's just insane. And he continues to do it. And sometimes it looks really bad, and this might actually be one of those instances soon. But in general, it's at the very least a very nice distraction. I love Vivi's play right now. Oh god, Rats and Archers from Yo, and he's run into Dravidian skirmishers, not the civilization skirmishers you want to see. They fire a lot faster. And so Yo might be feeling like the Rats and Archer isn't good enough here if he's up against that many skirms.
They're reconnecting with Lix here. Like, Lix is on the way to Castle Age. They're reconnecting with him again. Valessa has done a fantastic job to even be at 112 villagers right now. Remember, he had to abandon he's been a literal nomad. This game. I think my question is, like, how fast can Rubenstock push here? I think with Koreans he's going to struggle. And then how quickly can Max get into Paladin, if he can get into Paladin at all? I'm surprised Max hasn't done anything yet.
Yeah, just opening the light cav isn't the most convincing here, is it? But, I mean... There's just one single castle for Vivi, right? He can't trep down Max and he can't trep down Rubenstock at the same time. But if score lead means anything to you, briefly China takes the score lead.
It's Yo that's the concern. Like, Yo can't be stopped here by just skirmishers. He's going to need some help.
I thought the Dravidian skirmishers would actually do it, right? But you don't do enough damage versus Rats and Archers if you have a ranged unit. And Yo just continues this snowball with trebuchets and castle drops.
Bombard cannons coming out. I think... Even, like, Siege Onager might be a better call-out than Bombard Cannons, because the Ratans will just run in and snipe those.
Yeah. And you could tell Velez is under pressure here, so he didn't realize his cannons were hopping out. And now Rubenstock has to come over here, and he has to respect all this, which allows Vivi to continue a bit of a push. Vivi did lose his castle, though. Shout out to all those monks from Tim, by the way, healing up constantly as it's
Tim's getting Paladin.
Some Conquistador. And Tim's getting Paladin? What?
Tim is getting Paladin. So Tim has 128 villagers. He went for the monks early to support his team. He's still supporting the team with the monks. And he's the boom position here, getting Paladin. And we're still just seeing light cap from Max. Does he not have any gold? I guess he doesn't have any gold, Tristan. He has no access to gold because Vivi walled him out. He stonewalled him out on the left side.
Wow, what a play, man. What a play. Dave, also, funny side note, just look at the TC on the right for Lix. He's surrounded by Valis houses. Just needed to point that out because you don't see that every day. Looks pretty ridiculous. Big push still coming from
China's
Yo.
winning this. China's winning this game.
God, it feels like if they can continue their push against Max, they absolutely will. And if there's Paladin there, the only real issue for those Paladins is going to be the War Wagons. But still impressive hold from Max. He still hasn't lost his castle. Rubenstock's trebs have been firing all the time. And, you know, Veleza's still holding on. He's still killing Rats and Archers. It's just that they can't gain his position back just yet.
Yep. And there's like just lack of gold for Max. It says he's on gold right now, but I don't know where. Oh, that forward gold there in the middle of the battlefield. That's how desperate he is.
Yeah, I'm looking for it. I wonder if... Oh, yeah, I see it right there, but... I mean, he obviously had some gold. I guess he just didn't have a lot of piles. Normally on Nomad, you're going to be able to find quite a few.
Once the Paladin from Tim, and they've already done it, once they come over here to support the push against Valessa, he can't do anything against Ratton Archer Paladin. He's going to need his allies' help. He's going to need the wagons over here, which means the wagons aren't on the other side. The monks are finally getting cleared up. Rubenstock securing a gold for Max, but it's still a push happening over here from Yo and from now Tim. And behind all of this, Lix is trying to boom up.
and Dave, remember when Valis was in the game?
Yep.
We haven't seen any army from him in so long. Now, he is teching into some things right now. He has made it to Imp, but I don't know if anything he can contribute can stop Rats and Archer Paladin fast enough.
He is at the back of China's base with the TC, so that is important.
That's true.
Yeah,
and that could be really annoying. It could be enough of a distraction for Yoda to take some bad fights.
Also, Max is in the north with a bunch of stables, and he's just doing Max things now.
Oh, he's going to ram through. Oh, he has rammed through on the left side too, Dave. He's raiding Vivi. These distractions could bring it back for Finland. It's very easy to forget about your flanks here when you're doing so much. But at the same time, Valencia's losing everything.
Paladin,
this
bro.
Snowball from Yo.
Dude, Tim has played this game so well for his team. It's crazy. It's just been support player, and now he's the carry player.
Yep.
Spam Paladin.
And we have a castle from Rubenstock going up in the middle area, but it's just going to get trebbed right down. Love the Bombard Tower play from Vivi. Just extra layers of fortification. Love the Imperial Skirm from Vivi, right? That's good to see.
Lix is trying to survive on the right side. More stone walls quick. He's got Cavalier run.
And it might actually work out, right? Because as he's ramming down all those houses, we'll have to pay attention to the pop space for Valis, but Valis needs to focus on the other players, not on Lix. Attacking Lix is pretty useless for him right now.
Vivi noticing the ram working away on his wall in the north, and I think Tim is going to send some Paladin over there. He's also going for a defensive castle. They're also... Yo has noticed the villagers in the south from Valis. So he's going to castle drop that, and he knows you got to take care of that early.
Dude, their awareness in Nomad is crazy.
It's crazy,
right? Because it's so tough for us. We're not even playing the game to really gain a grasp on this.
And look at the army he's got, too. 63 Ratons, 7 bomber cannons forward.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Also, if you ever play Nomad, I know it kind of looks bad, but you got to play team colors. I guarantee you they're all playing team colors. They're just like looking for red in their base. Red means enemy, so kill it.
Oh, wow.
But Dave, the castle's still up for Rubenstock.
It is, and he's
in the
pushing
middle.
forward.
And look at this army from Max and Rubenstock.
I mean, Vivi has access to Imp Skirm now, but I don't think he has like the necessary production buildings to keep up the spam. Tim's going to have to go over to there to support him, but Max has the halbs. It's all about Yo. It's always been about Yo for the last couple minutes here. It's like, how much can he push? And when is Lix going to finally be back in the game? Lix is on the way to Imp, but he's being raided now by Cavalier. If he can add Halb, though, to deal with the Cavalier from Valis, could let Yo push a little bit faster.
Yeah. And if you're Finland, the best way for you to save your teammates from Yo and from Tim is to continue killing Vivi. Because if Vivi starts to die, that pressure is going to stem over to everybody else, and that's going to lead to a call out where they say, hey, we need some support, and then Yo can't push with everything. But so both teams just trying to kill faster than the other right now, and obviously on the other side of that, prevent themselves from dying. And it's just been incredible. Lix is an Imp. Lix is in the game, sort of, kind of. He's going to help in some way. And he's going to drop a castle in that right corner. You just know Lix is going to be the biggest pest with Trebs over there. Oh,
he could also go water as well. You cut off a lot of the eco from Finland if you go water here.
Yeah, it's true.
They're kind of on the edge of the map. Paladin from Tim into the back of Finland's eco. There's a few helps chasing, but that's a lot of exposed villagers, and that's just some of the things that you're going to have to deal with, right? But Rubenstock continuing the push. Rubenstock is going for keeps now. He's got more stone to mine there, and Vivi is now on the defensive 100%, and Max is still pushing from the north as Vivi goes for more bomber towers to try and keep himself safe.
Max is kind of making progress too on the left. Like, they're also taking out a castle that Vivi just placed on that golden stone, which will be very valuable to both teams. But Yo still can't be stopped. There's still not a single unit on the field or single mass, I guess, that can deal with it. But maybe Valis is going to try. He's got the 12+7 Cavalier from the Malians just waiting.
Yeah, Yo's got to be really careful with those bomber cannons. Oh,
Oh, God.
They might all die. No, Valis read
no,
that
no,
correctly.
He's like,
he read that correctly. Yeah. He needs more than that.
Wow, this is a crazy game, Dave. This is a crazy game. Max really wants this gold. Vivi actually kept his castle up. The castle I thought was going to go down on the left. The Trebs must have been sniped. Big engagement here.
Ooh, Lix is coming over to help. And now that Lix has the Halbs there, he can't engage. He can't engage. Sick teamwork.
Dude, how did China do this? And remember, guys, this is huge for this series. China's already up 1-0, but Finland has 3 of their top picks for this map. So to lose this should have some negative consequences for the rest of the games and the rest of the series. And China's got a 100 population lead. Vivi refuses to die. Tim refuses to die. And I know there's a big gold issue for a couple of the players on Finland. And all the gold that I'm seeing on the map when I look around is controlled by a tower or castle from China.
Mm-hmm.
Also, look at the bomber cannons for Yo. And then did you see the sheep in the line? They were in a line, and it went bomber cannon, sheep, bomber cannon, bomber cannon. Oh, it's amazing. Wow, dude.
Stables for Lix. He's going to start adding elephants here.
Yeah, he deletes his wall, and he's free now.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's got a greater population than Valis. And Valis takes a fight that he feels like he needs to take. That's not.
I mean, he snipes a bunch. He snipes a bunch of bomber cannons, and he's gonna clear them up.
Yeah, he does. He does actually kill most of them.
And he kills a lot of the Ratans there, too. So, I mean, it's okay, and it's given time for Valesa to get back up to 113 Vils, come forward with some more skirms. But, well, Max is now being pushed back in the north. He finally is getting the Paladin upgrade. Finally. He didn't have access to gold for a very long time. But Vivi has managed to push back to where that castle is.
Wow, what an insane game. I'm just thinking, like, how much of the walling from Vivi changed this game for China? Because Max, it seems like he realized he didn't have gold when he made it to Imp. It's like he didn't plan for that ahead of time. There's Elite Battle Elephant. Malay Elephants, they lack armor upgrades, but they are super cheap.
Good luck, skirms. Good luck.
We might even see Elephant Raids soon. I just do not know how you break this. Like, it really felt like for Finland, they had to push the middle. Now they're bringing army back to try and like switch sides to deal with Yo. And if you do that, it feels like there's just going to be Trebs from Tim and Vivi pushing the middle again.
Valis has no eco as well. Like, he's going for a TC in the middle of the battlefield. That's how desperate he is for space.
Yeah, true. Rats and archers should perform pretty decently against elite war wagons. Also, there's rams from Yo. Elephants now versus skirmishers. We know how that's going to go. Not so good for those skirmishers there.
Ooh, Paladin
is in as well for Valesa.
Paladin is into the eco from Valesa in the north, too. That's a lot of villagers there about to go down. His eco hasn't been strong for a while. And the wagons are in full defense mode now. They need the wagons to be pushing, but they can't. They simply can't.
Crazy just how many fortifications Vivi's been able to build here. Reminds me of game 1 with all the keeps. Except he went for bombard towers this game. It was an amazing combination. Army count now 220 for China. It's 160 for Finland. China still has an eco lead. They also have more players competing in the fights. And this is only going to get worse and worse for Finland here. Trebs from Rubenstock getting sniped now by Tim, who's had an amazing game.
Oh, the Elephant Ratan combination. How do you stop that? You can't.
Yep. You go back in time and you make sure you defeat Lix. You have to fully defeat Lix because he will be back otherwise.
Valesa's eco in the north got absolutely nuked. He's at 63 Vils now.
Yeah. And then all the farms for Valis on the right side getting raided by elephants. Tim's everywhere with paladins. Wow,
These wagons do have 135 kills, so they have done work, but they can't stop this.
Yeah.
Bomber cannons coming in. The wagons are stacked.
I don't know where you're looking. Sorry, I got distracted by a halb dying to a boar. that happened. Yeah, it's just wagons. The wagons do a great job at holding a position, but they've never been enough on their own to actually push. I think the population for two of the players is the below 100 population for Finland. They're probably realizing it's GG now. Max still has decent pop. Rubenstock still has his wagons, but this has got to be an awful feeling for Finland because they came into this tournament as the favorite.
Yep.
And I think for me, I had said China and Finland at the start of this whole tournament, right? And to go down 2-0 up against China and lose out in the civilizations you played with, it's still doable for you, but it's just going to make this series so difficult from here on out.
It's so rough, man. And it just shows the versatility of China. Like, imagine being Burgundians, right? Picking Burgundians on Nomad, number one. Being Burgundians, and then going Tower Rush into Monks.
And
and
dude,
then
like,
into Paladin. Like, it's just
and then
so
in game
versatile.
in game one, they had like Goth Distraction,
Yeah.
Pocket Arambai. Like the strategy we've seen from China has been amazing, and we see them take this game. Yo, with a masterclass performance in early Imperial Age to bring it back for him, right? Remember when he almost failed with that one castle, and we're thinking, oh god,
Yeah.
this isn't looking good. He's lost his Rata numbers, but man, he got a lot of kills this game.
Yo is yo. I mean, so many players would struggle with Vietnamese in that position. Like, I can't go Paladin. I can't go that power unit, right? How am I going to push fast enough to save my team? Yo, it's just slow and steady. Save up enough for a castle. Push forward. Bomber cannons. Rattan archers. They can't stop me. And then Tim. Can't say enough about Tim this game. He completely harassed two players. Kept himself safe. Went for the monks to support. The wagons can never engage against the conks because the monks were there. And then he went into boom, Paladin behind that. But Vivi is probably my MVP. Playing Spanish is kind of like easy mode on Nomad, but he was everywhere. And the walls kept Max away from Paladin himself.
The walls, the towers, the lack of hesitancy from China to tech switch as a team, right?
Yep.
We had scouts, we had unique units, we had Imp Skirm, Haub, crossbows apparently. Lix made 3 crossbows. I don't know what he was doing with that. But yeah, I mean, we just had a lot of different units when it was necessary. So well played, China. We'll see if Finland can bring it back. I feel like the games have both been close, right? Both games have gone over an hour. So I'd expect this series to be a long one. Rubenstock, 476 kills, 180 deaths. Looks great, but they just couldn't make progress. And actually, before I close this, I wanted to look. Just go back to like 2 minutes in this game and just see where the golds were. Just how many golds did Max have had around him?
Max tried to TC the gold, but Vivi showed up there with conks really early in Castle Age.
Yeah.
And then he had to go into monks with no gold. I believe anyway he had no gold there. Yeah, he had no gold. He had to go into monks to secure that, and Rubenstock had to come over.
It feels like if Max had one more gold pile, like one gold pile where one of the stones were near his starting TC, that he would have been able to open Paladin, and they could have pushed with their position.
Yep.
But he just couldn't get it. And I mean, you have the time to think about it, right? And kudos to China again for walling it up, controlling it, and winning the game. All right. I'm going to step away for a minute, and I'll be right back.
Yep.
Before game number 3.
Thank you guys for being here. Apex, thank you for the gifted sub. Appreciate it. Thanks for the follows, guys. Hope you're enjoying yourself. I am. It's been nice. That was a good game. Been fun. Thank you, Lars. That's what I strive for. I strive for your entertainment in particular. Update the score. I'm getting there, dude. Chill. I have to open my notepad file. Change it. Canada clap either way? No. Well, I mean, the games against Finland went to game 7 with Canada, right? And China has gotten... We beat them 3-1 earlier, but China has gotten better, as you can see today. So, I don't know.
All right, I'm back then. I'm ready whenever you are.
I
But
am
looks
back.
looks like Black Forest for game number 3, which
Okay,
is the
so they
one
need
you
a
had
win.
said is a big one for Finland, right?
Yeah, they need the win.
I saw they drafted Turks. I saw they drafted Celts. Obviously, I think we're gonna see Mongols for China. Maybe not though. Maybe they see Black Forest as a throwaway, and they might prefer Mongols on another map.
They should. They should see it as a throwaway. I mean, even if things get messy, even if they try and go super aggressive, you look at the team, like, just put Rubenstock and Valis on the flank. Or even Valessa on the flank. Like, he played his way through, what, 4 Rage Forest events now?
Yeah,
he's perfectly comfortable being the guy to toss away Vils.
I'm going through the awful experience that is trying to put the colors on the civs, but we're making it happen.
You could just check mark it if both teams have used that civ.
Yeah, that's where I'm at this point. But I got things wrong. It's a mess. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, the one pick from their top picks for China got the job done. Actually, no, excuse me, 2 picks.
2 picks. And it
from
was their
top picks
first
got the job
overall.
done.
So
yeah,
it's pretty important. Like, if they don't get the win there with Spanish, remember, that was China's home map. Finland did pick China's home map there.
Mm-hmm.
So they still have 3, and China only has 2 remaining. So it's still looking
so Black
okay
Forest for Finland. They'll obviously perform well there. And all the games have been close if you're just getting in. Chaos Pit, love Finland there as well. They played amazing against Canada. 2 Rivers on Shoron, honestly. But it's African clearing for China, where I'm just thinking, oof, another nomad start. It's not the true nomad experience, though.
Yeah.
It is very different. So I don't know if you could maybe look at it the same as what we just saw.
They also don't have the re for African clearing, which Finland does.
Oh, that's true. Yep.
If they find themselves in a really rough spot, like, all 4 of them are near 3 of the Finnish players, and then 1 Finnish player is in the boom position, which is not good if you're China. They can't call a re.
That's a good point. And I guess, well, yeah, I guess for Finland, they won't be able to know exactly where the TCs are because they won't have Vietnamese available. But I really liked Canada's approach, where they would just go Mayans Chinese on African clearing. It feels like Mayans Chinese with anything. It's like, good luck beating it.
Well, Canada's approach was like, we take out Yo and take out Valessa in the boom spot. Just distract them, right? You just got to keep them busy with something. And then your Mayans player can boom with the Eagles, and your Chinese player can boom eventually.
Dude, I still can't believe that Slam made over 100 Eagles without getting Elite Eagle that one game.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Well, he's just trying to change the narrative from the old Slam fletching jokes from back in the day. So
the game is paused by Yo right now. So they're I don't know. Anyway, we're in Black Forest.
So they're in. Okay.
I'm in the game room right now. And we're hoping that this game will carry on, but Yo is paused for some reason. Yes. There we go. Okay, they're going on. They're moving on.
Ooh, interesting civs.
Interesting civs and interesting map gen here. Like, Vivi has a nothing map. Literally nothing there. And he needs to wall forward. He needs to send Vils right now. I don't know why he's not sending Vils.
Yeah, I would have my Vils there already.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a super cramped map generation for him. Definitely not going to see a 3 or 4 TC boom for Vivi this game. And he's just going to wall right now, Dave.
Right there.
Could always see Vivi go for a sneak as well. But I guess if you can't wall further, really, because it's pretty open there.
There's also, like, a ton of boars in that one little corridor there that they can maybe take. So Vivi, there's 12 boars there. Vivi probably wants to wall forward. Not towards those other 6, just in front of them. And on the other side, we now see Valis and Lix kind of engaging over here. Lix is playing as the Aztecs. Valis is playing as the Bohemians. So the Aztecs probably need to get the advantage in terms of forward wall. But Valis is pushing him back right now with the help of Max.
And for perspective, for those that do not know this, Valis is the best Black Forest player in this game right here. He's consistently into the finals in the Black Forest Tony Rage Forest. I think it's 3 times in a row now.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
it's like
the dude's
him or
really
Barles
good
for like the best team captains, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep.
And they both play on the flank, and they both play this very messy style. And the reason that he's engaging with so many villagers here is if you get a forward wall on your opponent, especially with a civ like Bohemians, suddenly you can just all in on stone. Go for a castle, go fast imp, and keep it open for your pocket player to later come with some paladin, most likely. Max playing as the Cumans, which is one of the best pockets in BF. And Valis is just keeping it open here against Lix. He's pushing him away.
Lix has not really been able to keep up with the whole Vil war. He's got a lot of weak Vils here. And at a certain point, I mean, you barely have an eco at home to keep villager production going as is. But you have to decide on if you send more villagers or if you just give up the position and allow your opponent to wall you off. And it looks like he's not going to give up on the position, but this is just messy stuff and very difficult for us. We should also mention there's walling from Vivi in the middle, so he's going to wall off and maybe get the boars. And he's got 2 Vils through, so he might be tempted to sneak there.
Oh, Lix is losing villagers, and he's also letting his TC idle throughout this process. It's very tough to keep it running with only, like, he's had 3 villagers on food this entire time, and he loses another one.
Yeah. So he's now down to 8. It's 11 Vils for Valis. It seems like a basic thing, but playing thousands of Black Forest games and fighting on the flank puts you in a position to be able to compete.
It's just super rough. Like, if you commit 5 villagers, then you have to commit 8. Or you have to commit 11, right? Like, you can't let your economy be nuked by those early fights and then still give up the position. It's terrible, and Valis knows that. That's why he's out here with so many. Lix knows that. That's why he's out here with so many. And Lix just now needs to get a wall down somewhere, but it's going to get to the point where he probably doesn't even have enough wood to get a wall down. He's got 129 wood, but he still needs to make a lumber camp at some point. He's losing a villager to a boar currently near his TC.
Yeah, Lix has really struggled with this start. He is good at quick walling. And he might actually be able to get the wall down here. If he can get these walls down, then there won't be any more reinforcements for Valis. And there's actually a Vil on the other side now. That's interesting. God, I keep looking at Lix's eco and getting so stressed out right now. There's so many villagers that aren't working.
Yep.
Oh, gosh, man.
Valis is used to this. He's just very calmly taking the sheep there, and he's still pressuring the villagers. Vivi has been hunting in the center. He lost his house going forward, and there's a sneaky little gate there from Rubenstock to try and prevent the walls behind, but Vivi's going to get those down. So in the north, Vivi has done a much better job, and he needed to because he has no space at all on his base.
And what's interesting is if you look at the eco counts for the teams, it's actually dead even. And I believe that is due to the fishing from Tim. So Tim's got a pond. There is also a pond for Veleza, so you would expect that not to give China a huge advantage. Oh my god, look back at Lix's side with Valis. What is this?
Yeah. He walled in a villager there because Lix had walled out Valis, and now Valis is getting the wall down. And I guarantee you, if Lix tries to go for a wall behind this wall, Valis will just delete his walls, and then we'll have it all over again. Okay, can he get it? Can he get it? Oh, he gets it! Oh, that's big. That's big.
Yeah, this is
12 Vils for 17.
Dude, but can we just appreciate the fact that both Tim and Vivi are taking the boars? It doesn't look like it's from a pro game. You should be taking the extra boars. There's nothing wrong with it. But you just don't see this all the time. Vivi did the work for the space, and Tim's going to reap the benefits.
You don't see them making mills and taking them where they are. You see them luring them back most of the time. Yeah. But I think a lot of the times BF players, they spend too much time worrying about luring them back. Maybe they should do this more often. And for Vivi, I mean, it helps that he has his villagers here because he can reinforce if they try and push through this wall in the center.
Lix deletes his wall, runs through to attack a villager from Valis, and then Valis attacks another wall, and now he runs through. And we are not finished with the Vil shenanigans here.
No.
And 2 TCs for Max is going to be the play with the Cumans. I'd expect his eco to be insane. And you kind of see a little bit of what we're talking about with Rubenstock bringing 3 boars right now.
Well, Valis is sending 5 more vills. This is great.
Okay.
And now the vills
this
from...
is amazing.
I mean, this is... How much of Lix's eco? This is a third of Lix's eco here engaging.
The positive, though, is that Valis continues to commit with a lot of vills. So he's not really able to take advantage of his massive eco lead because it's just a straight out-and-out wall and vill war.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually don't see this as big a negative for Lix because of how Valis is playing it. But obviously he is way behind.
The thing is that the boom from the Cumans is going to be that much better from the boom from the Slavs, right? So, like, if they both keep it open, if they're both contesting here, the Cuman player is going to show up first, most likely. Mm-hmm. Unless Yo goes for some sort of castle pressure here, which is also possible. If he goes for siege or something like that, and maybe they get to wall off Valis or defeat Valis, then maybe there's a chance. But, I mean, Lix is 19 vills versus 25 for Valis. He's so far behind.
Yeah, I wonder... How many villagers do we have on this area of the screen? So
He's got 12 vills not
12.
working. He's working with 6 villagers currently.
Also, who is this wolf attacking? I think he's attacking Lix.
I don't know.
The wolf can't find his target right now. He will eventually find the target. You'll notice Valis is not attacking it.
Vivi's going for a men-at-arms push. And he's through with villagers. Oh boy. Okay, Rubenstock. I don't know if Rubenstock is like ready for this one. He's going for an archery range with Turks. And he's going for a spearman now with this is not what he expected.
But does Vivi know that there's an archery range there? He saw the feudal age time. He didn't see the barracks, didn't see the range. I think he was expecting to be able to freely drop a tower. And Veleza even bringing his starting scout over here to help. I think Vivi could get surprised. He doesn't have man-at-arms yet. He doesn't have a range yet. This is looking worse and worse for Vivi the more I look at it. I like the approach, though. This is absolutely what you want to do against Turks, because you don't want Turks to be able to just freely drop a castle.
Lix just has no vills working.
He's on stragglers.
What is his what is his average efficiency this game? Like, moving time of his eco, 39% he's spent moving.
Oh, yeah, true.
With his economy.
Let me click that.
40% for Valis, so...
Yeah, but I guess it's 40% off of more villagers.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he hasn't...
Look at the quick walls from Lix, dude.
They're pretty good.
These weak villagers. At the very least, this is quick walling practice.
He's saving her, too. Oh, he died, but he's saving some vills.
The thing is, where do you go?
You don't go anywhere.
You just sit there. You don't go anywhere. You don't do anything. By the way, you notice Vivi has completely retreated. He saw the archers and he said, nope, I'm out of here. And he just stonewalled it. Does still have the militia, but great defense there from Rubenstock. And I think he expected it the entire way through. And TC's going up now for multiple players. For Veleza, who's going to have a crazy economy, but also for Tim on the other side. And Yo.
Lix. He's still trying to wall in his vills.
He actually walled in one of Valis's.
Yeah, it didn't last very long.
Him.
Come on, Lix. You can get this. Come on, Lix. Come on. One wall there. Come on. No!
Oh.
He's going to try and trap this vill from Valis?
Yeah, for sure. He's going to try and... Needs to get it in the right spot. Okay, he's thinking about it. He does have to try and create vills. He actually has sheep underneath his TC now.
Yo is going for a siege workshop there, so Yo is going to help out a little bit with a 3 TC boom behind, but Max is significantly ahead of Yo. 48 vills, and he's on the way to Castle Age now.
And Max is dropping stables, so the siege is going to be short-lived. And honestly, it's likely that Valis just deletes all of his walls, and the Knights run right through here, and right through to Yo, and completely defeat Lix as well.
The Drush made it to Valesa's 4th TC.
Oh, gosh.
Big.
I mean, this game has been extremely entertaining. We did say that of all the maps, this would be the one where Finland should get a win.
Oh, I didn't save her.
Oh, wait. He's going to try and escape with the other guy. Valis noticed. I don't think Valis is really going to be able to do much with that villager now.
There's a Scorpion and a Mangonel. Imagine Yo attack grounded. Oh, nice! Nice double combo there from Yo. Valis is on the way up to Feudal Age. big. He's in Feudal Age now. Max coming over with scouts, and Yo Siege is going to be dead.
Yep. And there's no walls from Licks, right? He doesn't
And
have any walls behind this.
forward
You
castle
need to have
from
stone
Rubenstock.
walls behind this.
This is why Vivi needed to wall further out earlier, because this forward
this is
castle.
why his attack needed to have more substance to it, right? Like, it was just militia. I mean, great play from Finland. Every single player from Finland is doing what they should at all times here. They had the walls down pat on both flanks. Turks forward castle is what you want. Humans into a boom and then a raid is what you want. And then Licks is just like, can we resign now? And Yo's like, no, we don't resign early on this team, okay? I'm still warming up.
What's your estimate for Lix's Feudal Age? Oh, never mind. He's clicked up. He's clicked up here. He's clicked it up. Okay.
Dude, look at the HP on his vills. Like, look at the villagers underneath his TC.
It's not good. And the scouts are on the ones on that one deer. Oh, it's not good.
And the beauty is, from Max's position, is you don't actually need to invest much more than this. You will have army on Yo to raid Yo. Yo is to defend from that. Licks is already super far behind, so you just go for a 4 TC boom. You do not need to be fancy at all.
You know what? Vivi might win on this side against Rubenstock. Look at his resources.
Yeah.
Vivi's going to get that castle up. He's going to go imp. And he's got more vills because of Bengalis.
I like that. And then maybe what happens is Tim could go to the other side with something.
Yeah, like...
So it's like 3... Well, I guess 2, because Licks is out of the game. I don't know.
Valesa with Celts is also going to be... Like, Celts is a super strong push, but it takes time. It takes more time than a Paladin player. So, I mean, Rubenstock's going to have to survive here against the fast Imperial Age from Vivi. This is the only hope here for China on this side. The Light Cav are still in. And...
Yep.
Like, can't do anything about that. Now, Yo is being harassed back here. But Tim is relatively safe.
Val has lost one of his vills. The other one he had walled into a tree, and Licks chops the tree and then palisades it. Well played there from Licks, because you don't want Valis to be able to build monasteries and siege workshops on Yo right now, so it's pretty good. Someone says, when you log on to see Licks in Dark Age and Valis, not Valis on his way to Imp. I guess it would be Vivi on his way to Imp. What is actually going on here?
Licks has 0 on food.
Oh, God.
Don't worry, though. The Light Cav, there's only 3 of them. Haha. Oh, God.
This is a true Black Forest flank experience right here.
Yep. Rubenstock's on the way to Imp, and he probably thinks that his Imp is going to be a little bit faster than Vivi's. He will have bomber cannons, which Vivi doesn't have access to. But Vivi can go for the Bengali monks. If he takes out that castle, suddenly the bomber cannons are just like fresh meat for redemption Bengali monks.
And like, if Valesa goes only siege, which is what Celts are known for, the monks can take care of that as well. So there is a chance if Finland doesn't realize it's going to be monks with trebs.
I'm not certain if I hate this mining camp from Vivi or if I love it.
I guess it's the only one he has. From Vivi, sorry. I like it because
I know that you're going through the same mental thing that I'm going through right now, because it's like
mental gymnastics.
Where do you put it to make it actually efficient, unless you want to squeeze villagers in the middle there? But that takes time, which you don't really have.
I like it. If the most optimal way would be to squeeze vills in, like you said, and back it up a tile.
Mm-hmm.
But he ain't got no time for that. I thought you were talking about the stone one, because it's a little inefficient for the other stone, but obviously it's perfect for the main stone. So, okay.
All right, Vivi is not going for another castle. He has sold his stone, I think.
Okay, there's first Treb. Siege workshop behind this for Rubenstock. We'll obviously make bomber cannons right away. And then we have siege being masked already for Valesa. He's going for pikes as well, so he will go Alb Siege. And what's Tim going to do? Tim's going to go Paladin, right? He's got stables.
Mm-hmm. He has to.
Yeah. I mean, Rubenstock's wide open, dude. I honestly think they have a window over there. With early Paladin, with monks, it's maybe possible. Great job from Max, continually on Yo. It's so frustrating in Black Forest, because like on Arabia, it's like, okay, We defended from the attack from Max. Now we need to counterattack. But you can't here. You're just stuck because they're walled.
If that's a window in the north, then we've got a giant garage door into Lix's base in the south. Like this, it's a hangar bay.
A 3-car garage.
Lix is so damn bad over here, and Valis is 4 TC booming. Just
Here's
laughing.
the positive, though. Here's the positive. In the previous game, it was actually worse for Lix. Well, no, it wasn't. It wasn't worse.
No,
but
it wasn't.
was close.
There was a way forward for Lix. There's no way forward here. He's queuing up Spearman.
Listen, I tried, okay? I tried to be positive for him.
Man, if Rubenstock could have... Dude, if Rubenstock could have held onto that castle for, like, just a minute longer, it would have been such a better position. You just repair until you get some bomber cannons.
Yeah.
And then you can hold that area. Vivi actually manages to convert that scout, and here come the knights from Tim, but there's already halbs there.
Yeah, it just feels like Valeza's boom was so good. To already have Halbin, to already have these upgrades, to already have Siege being massed. And
Add
just fortifying this
Teutonic
area
Knights.
to buy time.
Add in some Teutonic Knights now. Make the tech switch now. He's doing it! Let's go! They're coming out.
Yeah. It's actually a great unit here, even if you just sprinkle them in. The thing about the Teutonic Knight as well is you do not need elite for the unit to be strong.
Oh.
You could just get like 5 of them.
Lix just getting castle drop.
Yeah, and he's trying to... He's doing the right thing. He's walling up behind his TC. And it almost looks like those lumberjacks are trying to chop their way through. But no, he's going to delete the hole real quick.
He's fine.
And all right. Make a run for it here, Lix. Here comes the push that has to work for China. Otherwise, this will be 2-1 Finland. Finland is obviously going to win in the south. Oh, God. Oh, God. The Halbs just melted those knights. And it's good work from Finland, though, right? Like, knew that the raid potential could be there. Got some extra walls down and gates. Playing extremely safe here.
I think it's smart for Valessa to go into the ram approach first, rather than, like, onagers. You really usually want halb onager, but ram will force the cavalier to engage against them. The halbs can then clear everything up, and also rams, the monks need to get really close.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah, he clearly was initially thinking onager because he has the Mega Nelson there, but then maybe thought a little bit more about it, thought that wouldn't work out. Still no Paladin on the way for Tim. He does just have a lot of Cavalier. It's probably just the pressure of the situation. Him feeling like we have to force the issue here. And, I mean, there's still Trebs from Vivi, but there's just so many Halbs from Valeza. You can't... If you're converting Halbs, you're not in a good position in this game. You got to be converting a really powerful gold unit.
Full Teutonic Knight production from 2 castles from Tim. They'll be good eventually.
They do, yeah, they do produce decently fast. But man, Max, he's making petards right now out of his 1 castle. He's dropping another castle. He is on the way to the Imperial Age. He'll be faster to imp than Yo. He has a better economy than Yo. That just does not feel like things are getting any better on that side.
Yo's eco
still on Tim.
Yo's eco is way far behind where it should be right now. But I think a big part of that was that he was being raided by the light cav and the knights early. And you know what? Tim is still pushing here with these Bengali monks.
Actually, kind of making some progress, right? And the Teutonic Knights do not take a lot of damage from those Halbs. But he's going to lose his castle. They need to take out the Trebs here from
Repair, Vivi, repair! Tim's repairing! It's still... No! Dude, it was so close. They needed that. If only for Teutonic Knight production, they needed that.
Yeah. By the way, Yo did not complete that castle. The petards took out the wall while we were looking on the other side. So that castle's denied. So things go from bad to worse for Yo. And we might just be moments away from a GG here because there's just no positives.
This may sound bad, but it's actually going better than I thought it would for China in this Black Forest game.
Wow, you think really little of them on Black
Forest? No,
apparently.
not little. I think very highly of the Finns on Black Forest.
Ah, okay. Nice save, nice save. Well, no, I think I agree with you. And I think every single one... Actually, not every single one of the picks for China were one of their lower picks. I think Teutons was on their higher Civ draft. But even still, I think China feeling very good about this, even if they lose this game, because 2-1 victory, or sorry, 2-1 scoreline feels very good.
Hand cannons now from Rubenstock, so the Teutonic Knights are not doing anything.
Wow, Max is so good at splitting up knights to raid. He's in like 6 different spots right now.
Yep.
It always seems like he's in 1 or 2 spots that other players don't send their paladins to. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, Yo's dead. Or he will be completely dead soon.
Lix is still in Feudal Age.
And the GG's called.
Nice. GG. Well played, Finland. Expected that one, but they still played really well, and we saw what Valis could do on this side. Like, he just 5 villagers ahead at all times of his opponent. Bohemians against Aztecs. And, well, on the other side, Rubenstock playing pretty patient, honestly. Vivi doing the right things, but it's just not enough when it's Rubenstock here with a kelp pocket behind in Valessa, who has a beautiful fish setup. You just compare that to the fishing eco from Tim. Like, it's obviously different experience levels with this map.
On Black Forest. Yep, absolutely. And then the Celt eco. For Black Forest, you could maybe argue even a bit better than the Teuton eco, though obviously Teuton's no slouches there. Yeah, and the biggest takeaway for me in this game, and something that we would break down if we had more time, is the fact that Rubenstock just freaking knew Vivi was going to come in, right? Vivi thought he could go man-at-arm tower against a player who's going fast castle, and Rubenstock was like, surprise, I've got archers. And even in that moment, Valeza had a scout there waiting, like, yeah. But
look at Lix's total res gathered. It's bad.
let's see.
It's bad.
Oh my god. I thought it'd be like 12K, dude.
It's bad. Bro,
wow.
he went through it, man. He's gonna have some bad memories of this game. Oh my goodness.
He's probably like, okay, Tim is flank next. Please. If we ever play Black Forest again, put Tim on flank. Yeah, it's a throwaway game for you if you're China. Scoreline's 2-1, but great job from Finland to take it 1 game at a time here.
It's like one of those compilations. Like, look at every Lick stat screen, but every time you switch, it gets worse.
It's true, though. Every stat I'm looking at for him is just horrible.
It just keeps getting worse. Oh,
it's funny, though, because this is a very Lix thing, right? Like, the previous game, Lix was almost dead, and he came back and was a pest and helped his team. Game 1, like Fast Castle Ehrenby, like there's these games where you get excited about Lix and say, wow, what a unique player. And then you have games like this. So you got to love it or you hate it, depending on where you are in terms of being a fan of this player. But great job from Rubenstock. 46 kills, 11 deaths. Max 125 kills, 35 deaths. Just domination.
And they used, like you said, they used 3 of their top civs here. So they did draft towards BF, which I think in the grand scheme of things, maybe not like the smartest decision, because you look at the at the civs down below, and there's plenty of good BF civs there. They're not top tier, but do you need the top tier against China? I don't know if you do.
That is crazy. 3 of their top civs for that.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that till now. Yeah, so, I mean, China's saving a lot of their better civilizations. And we didn't see Mongols there. Remember we thought about that? Mongols are great on Black Forest, but China said, nope, we'll save it for something else. Maybe African clearing I could see.
Yeah, African clearing, that'd be good. Could use them... I mean, you could use them on Chaos Pit as well, potentially. You could use them on any of these maps, honestly. 2 rivers, it could be a possibility. Probably going to be 2 rivers.
I'm trying to use process of elimination.
Or no, African clearing probably. They'll want Yo as Mongols in the boom position on African clearing.
I could also see China being tempted to have a player on Cumans there as well. Because Cumans will still be available for them. But yeah, African clearing, I would expect Chinese for Finland. I think that's a no-brainer. Apart from that, I don't know if they'll use any of their civilizations from their main pool of civs, because it might be considered too risky there. Because you still want to have great civs remaining. Vikings, Italians, probably for water maps, right? So I would expect maybe both of those are on team islands, but potentially 2 rivers. But so far, the home maps have always gone to the team that selected them. Arabia is a bit deceiving on the draft, obviously, because that's just like a neutral. But that was game one. China won that. China won Nomad. Now Finland wins Black Forest. I think China will be avoiding Team Islands. I think they will go African clearing first, if anything. And yeah, I see now in the lobby that's what they'll do. But like, just because of the civs, right? You look at the civs and you see Vikings, Italians on the other side. Vikings, Italians, Japanese on the other side.
Yep.
You don't want to face up against that and then have this be 2-2. So you want your best chance at going up 3-1 and take some pressure off for the future games. But the first two games was some of the best Nations Cup action I've seen so far in this tourney.
Really strong games, for sure.
We had uniqueness of strategy. We saw every player play a role. Both games went over an hour. Previous game, very forgettable, but hopefully we have a really good Team Islands game. I want a really good Chaos Pit game, and I want to see Two Rivers go the distance. I want that to be like the set you casted. I think it was France versus Brazil. I think that went game 5. I remember like Clermont was like insane with Bohemians or something.
Trying to remember. I think I hopped in like the end of that one, maybe.
Yeah, I was watching you, and I just remember watching the early stages and then coming back like 40 minutes later, and somehow Clermont had a score which was like 8K higher than anyone else. It was just pushing with Hal Pufnitze. But there's been a lot of games.
African clearing it is. Finland has Chinese here. Finland also has Berbers, Tatars, and Burmese. Jars, Cumans, Berbers, and Mongols for China. And the key, I think the key here is like, if you're Finland, you can't let Yo be in the corner of the map with Mongols booming. You can't.
Yep.
You can't let them get into Magadite. You got to disrupt them somehow.
And ideally for China, the Cumans player is also safe because he wants that 2TC boom. But there's no guarantees on Nomad starts, and China will not have a restart. Finland can call a restart. You probably are going to see the restart used only on Nomad maps because your starts are not going to be influenced by any heavy RNG on the other maps. So,
can you use them on the other maps? I don't think so. I think it's only on the Nomad maps, right?
oh, okay. Well, I mean, it would make sense
know.
because
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a good point. I've only seen them used on Nomad.
You like the other maps, you don't want to have a re-available, I would think, because then you could maybe go forward for double lame, and if you don't get it, then you just call it re.
Oh, that's true. That's a fair point. Yeah, that was the old strategy when there were restarts available.
Dude, there used to be 3 rees per set per player. Like, disgusting.
All right, Mongols, Berbers, Cumans, Gurjaras. And here we are, game number 4, African clearing. Let's see where the TCs go. We're just explaining that Finland will have a restart available. China used one on Nomad. This is another Nomad start. So if Finland doesn't like what they're seeing, they could do it because Nomad's pretty crazy. But so far, it doesn't seem like the TCs are all that close.
Well,
I'm missing a TC, though. We don't have a player
We
with
don't
a
have a
TC
TC from Velas. Velas is putting his... Ooh, that makes things difficult for China. So Yo is in the corner here, and I was about to say he's pretty far away from all the Finnish players, except for Veles over there as Chinese. But now Valis is nearby him, but Valis's TC was really late, and it's honestly not even a good TC.
Yeah.
Like, I think he was at a position where he's like, I got to get this down.
He needed fish. Yeah, he just couldn't find fish. Here's a question. Do you think that these guys have a time, like an in-game time for when their TC should be completed? Or do they just do everything by field? Do they just build the TC right away?
I think it's like if you're... It's probably very similar to Nomad, which is like if you're 2:30 or under, that's a very good time. If you're over 3 minutes, it's a bad time.
A bad one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the TC here for Yo is going to be fairly good, right? The TC for Valesa is going to be really good with Chinese. And you can see Ruben Sock kind of doing the same thing that Slam did with his villager and Hera's TC is going to garrison that villa inside and drop off the food.
At the res. Yep.
But very, very nice for Valessa getting that TC up. And then we look at the TC from Valis. It's not the worst in the world at around 254. It's okay. It's not great.
If they're going to call a re, they have up to the 4-minute mark. So that potential's still there. I would say, at least from Yo's perspective, he wouldn't mind if the opponents used a re. He doesn't know that he's neighbored by 2 players right now, but Yo's their best player, and Mongols the best post-imp civilization available for Team China here. So they would want Yo to be safe.
Max and Rubenstock are fairly secure here too. Lix is nearby, so you're never secure when Lix is nearby, but he's playing his Cumans, so he might decide to just go for that second DC approach. And
I think it's really nice to have Rubenstock next to Max when Max is a player who loves to go for scouts here, because you just have Max go for control with army, and then it gives Rubenstock time to get a fast
stone.
castle into Erenbai. Yep. And I honestly, Lix isn't too far away from that. Lix wants a second TC most likely. He's in the middle of the map. This is not a position you want to be in usually if you're Cumans. You want to be towards a corner or something.
We do
You
have
Tim nearby, and then Vivi smack dab in the middle as well as the Gujaras.
Yeah, Vivi literally in the middle here. And where is the mill from Vivi? How many does he have garrisoned in there? I saw Leary playing with Austria, and he had 25 goats in his mill. Vivi has one.
He's got one. Yep.
Yeah. Or mills, I should say. But he's bringing the other goats around, and he's going to have to let his teammates know where that is. They'll probably already be done scouting here by this point. They have a really good idea on where everybody is, right? They can see the TC from Valis. They probably suspect that Valessa is over there. I think they've lost some goats there. They see the TC from Max, and they probably won't find the one from Rubenstock. That's going to be the toughest one to find.
Yeah. Yeah, so lots of sheep scouting. It's always the tricky thing, right? I almost think it's more valuable to get the scouting intel if you don't know where your opponent is than to put the goats inside of your mill. But it does give you a bit of a food trickle.
Look at the scouting for Team Finland. Oh my god. So good. They know where Yo is. They know where Lix is. They don't 100% know where Vivi is right now. And then they know where Tim is as well. Like, this is just ridiculous.
So good. I want to look. Here's a question. Does captureage count the APM of sheep scouting as eco or military? Well, I guess that answers it. You look at the military APM. Somehow they have 1 when there's no military. Wait, what?
It might be targeting an elephant.
Oh, dude, that's such a good pickup. Yeah, that's such a good pickup. Because Tim just got another one right as he was bringing in an elephant. Yeah. That's a good call. But yeah, I mean, their eco APM is probably a little bit higher here than people would expect.
Vivi's got the goat train heading over. Okay, how many goats? How many goats?
All right, so here's what I'm thinking. Chinese play as standard as can be. Archers or scouts, both are fine. Chinese can do anything. You're going to be good there. But for Max, do you want him on Camel Archer? Do you want him on Knights? That could be an interesting thing to think about.
I think you want Max on Knights. I think you think about Max, you want him on Knights.
Yeah.
Just the style of player that he is, right? He's a macro guy. Rubenstock will take the position of that range unique unit. And Max can take the position of trying to survive and then booming into Knights. Or going scouts first.
And then maybe Valis long term is maybe Cav Archer. I could see a world where there's Keshik. For the Gurjaras, I guess you're going Camel.
They should.
Tim, maybe unique unit, maybe Knights.
They should just Valis and Valessa. And the last time Valis played this map, he got absolutely nuked in that series versus Canada. Remember, he was like
he was stuck in the middle.
He didn't make much military, or he made archers or something, and then he got completely 3v1. But him and Valessa should focus on killing Yo here. If you can take Yo out of the game, the Mongols player, that's going to be massive. And you can see Valessa already kind of going for a wall to protect himself, but that kind of walls Yo into this corner as well.
Yep. Yeah, and I really do feel, again, is this is not the type of position Yo would want to have found himself in here. He's going to be going for scouts, though. I like how he's not
Nope.
just... Oh, he's going to go
Bridge.
archers.
Yeah, probably smarter. If you're playing defensive, if you know, let's see what he sees. Does he see both players? He isn't 100% sure about Valesa, but he does see a house over there from
Yeah.
Rubenstock. So maybe he thinks he might think Rubenstock is over there. They might not know where Ruben is.
That's true. Yeah, that house. Yeah, that could really confuse things, too, because they did not locate Rubenstock elsewhere, like you said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really funny angle. Dude.
It is.
The fact that that one house there could confuse him because he's thinking that that's going to be the fast castle player
Yeah.
instead of the archer player.
And where did that villager go from Rubenstock? Did he...
It might be wandering home. I see it in the middle of the map.
Okay,
Walking
so
past Vivi's TC
making its
right
way
now.
back there. And Valesa will be going for archers here. Yo will be going for archers of his own, like we said. And Valis is on the move with these villagers. Yo is just killing goats. He's killing goats.
Yo is killing all the goats from the Tatars. What a play.
5 goats?
That's 5 goats down. 6? What?
No, he
Did
almost
shoot
got
the
him,
elephant?
dude. No, he got greedy. He got greedy. He went too deep.
No.
He went too deep, dude. How did he
doesn't know
miss?
he's going to be up against scouts and also archers here. This is going to be so bad for Yo.
Mm-hmm. But
I don't see how he can easily survive from this pressure.
Like, Valis was under the same sort of pressure, the set against Canada, right? Completely folded. Just died completely. We'll see if Yo is going to do the same thing or if Yo is going to be able to survive.
Yeah. Rubenstock's villager, which traveled the whole way across the map, just got found by Licks. That's funny. Should have stayed on the other side building houses.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good find from Licks there. Obviously, Licks is on scouts. Licks also has the second TC, and I love the TC position between the shorefish.
Max found...
But here come the archers from Valesa on Yo, and this is what Yo kind of has to find out the hard way here. And he didn't have time to prep for it, so he couldn't drop a tower there.
Yeah,
Like,
let's see
he is truly going to be underneath his TC.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, right? He can't extend. He can take the wood there, and where is he going to run to? Does he make a mad dash across the middle of the map right now? Does he go to that? Does he tower the stone and then just slowly extend? It looks like he's going to tower that and then take the stone and then make more towers to keep himself safe.
Tower from Max with scouts on Tim right now. Tim is going for a fast castle here. This is very greedy. We've seen trying to do this before. They did the same against Canada. And Canada went for a lot of feudal army. I think Canada did the same against Finland. I think I recall both teams playing Canada. Canada is waiting for whoever wins this series in the grand final. But I'm going to be honest, not sure about the whole fast castle play from Tim, but he's held thus far. Meanwhile, Yo, he got a tower up. He could maybe make more towers. He hasn't lost all of his eco. It's bad. He's getting wheelbarrow on a map where he's not going to farm for a long time. But he's alive.
Why is Vivi signaling the TC from Valesa?
Vivi signal. I didn't catch that.
He just signaled it.
Licks just signaled Rubenstock. I think there was confusion on where the players were located.
There was, dude. There was because of the house.
Because of that freaking house.
Yep.
That's sick.
Castle Age is in from Vivi. He's getting the armor. And Shrivamsha's, well, if you signal Valesa, he might be coming this way. And those are going to be annoying for Valesa.
Yep.
Very, very annoying. And Yo has managed to kind of survive here. Has he lost any villager? He hasn't lost a single vill.
Impressive. But at what point does he just run out of resources to collect here? Like,
he's going to make a mad dash probably for the woodline soon, tower it, and then try and secure that area.
I also think maybe try and place an awkward tower next to your gold so you can at least take some gold.
Mm-hmm. This is smart
so you
from
can
Yo,
take
though.
Something.
He doesn't go out there. He's not greedy. He waits until he has enough stone for a tower so that he can come out here safely. Hopefully he just places the tower, though, and doesn't just go for a random lumber camp.
Licks killed the villager there from Max. Well played. We have the castle now from Rubenstock in front of his TC. The Shrivamshas from Vivi are over near Tim's base trying to clear up Max's villagers. That could lead to Max losing all those villagers.
Max has a spearman there, which
here.
is nice. And he's taking out one of them, and he's repairing the tower, but he needs to run now because no more spearmen. 3 on the way.
There's the tower for Yo. He actually also is taking the zebras there. That is the most AI-looking thing I've ever seen from Yo. But Max runs away, making more spears, is losing some of the vills. Tim dropping a town center now, not a castle. I'd love to see the castle go up so we could get some camel archers on the field. But actually, Dave, China has the eco lead right now. A lot of that's through licks on his 2 TCs.
Yep.
But impressive hold from China.
I think Yo is just taking the... Oh, that's perfect, bro. He's taking the hunt. He's got 230 food. They're going to drop off when they take that, when they make that lumber camp.
Yep. And so he gets the food there. And now I think Rubenstock's being told, hey, buddy, you got to deal with licks. He's been on 2 TCs for a while. Get over there. And Valis is here with scouts.
Is here, yeah. Lick's right on top of it, though. He's sending his villagers away, and Lick's... Humans are pretty dangerous here, right? 44 villagers. Boomba's looking good for him. He's about to click up to Castle Age.
Arambai and scouts working together. Still only 1 villager down. I've been impressed with how Lix has played this, but he's 2.5 minutes away from the next stage. He might need to consider some towers.
Yo, going
and
for
he's got some
tower.
Awkward spots. If you look at his starting TC, look at how many villagers are chopping those trees.
Yep.
They need to go somewhere at some point. If they are cut off by scouts and Arambai, that's not going to be possible.
Yeah,
as we see scouts hit him again on the right side.
He'll have to go for a castle somewhere to defend himself. Shervamshas are hitting Valesa now, and he's going to lose a couple villagers.
Dude, I cannot stress to you how annoying it is for me that Tim hasn't dropped a freaking castle on Max. Look at Max. He's got nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Spearmen.
That's his gold there, too. Like, absolutely nothing. And Tim is
I think we'll see it now.
Saving his stone, but there's Arambai there, dude. What do you have to support these vills? What do you have to support these? And he's putting the castle there.
Oh God, that's not gonna happen, Tim.
Tim, you've played
he needs to go defensive here.
Okay,
next to his TC.
Max should have pulled the spearman back and let him build that a little bit more so they could come in and deny that.
Oh yeah, true. Just be real sneaky. I just noticed a lot of purple in Velez's eco. He just got hit by a lot of Shravamshas.
He lost a few villagers earlier, but he's managing to survive. And Yo is still surviving here as well. Yeah. Somehow. But Valis is now in Castle Age, and he's kind of booming up here, adding extra TCs. The purple units are now coming over towards Valis's base. He's going to quick wall those out, and he has camels, so he should be okay. Doesn't quick wall them out.
The multitasking is insane from everybody right now. This is so impressive. Also, Vivi's boom is going to be insane. He's on 3 town centers already. Vivi has sent his Shravamshas into multiple players' economies. Now, let's see if he could maybe get some support down here to Yo. Dude, Velez is going to make a TC that is pretty much going to prevent Yo from ever escaping. It is right between those shortfish.
I know, I saw it.
Yo cannot go anywhere.
I know. He's just going to be in this little corner here. Yo has only lost 3 vills this game.
Still amazing.
And he's only had 12 seconds of idle TC, Tristan.
I don't get how he does it, man.
That's unreal.
I don't get how he does it. Yeah.
He's so good.
Like, I think they should, in some ways, try and do more damage to Yo now. But the focus is on the other players. So you can't really all-out commit against Yo. Lots of Arambai for Rubenstock, though. Rubenstock's got 15 of them.
Yeah, that's the one unit comp I'm kind of scared of if I'm China here. I mean, the Arambai will do fairly well against the Kipchaks.
Yep.
They'll do pretty decently against the camels in low numbers, and the Arambai are just constantly running around. And it's just the nature of this map. You're going to have exposed eco somewhere, right?
Yep. I think we actually saw in game 1 when China used Burmese that the Arambai are kind of good against everything if you get that mass.
You got to have like 15.
Yeah.
And then they're great.
Yeah, he's got 18 now, which is insane. He's going to have great economy as well, so this isn't at the expense of his economy. Rubenstock playing out of his mind right now for Finland. And, you know, the best player on Team China is on his way to Castle Age to join everybody else in the game, and that's Yo. And they're looking for him, man. Look at Valis with the Step Lancers in the south, looking to see where Yo is. And Castle in the north now for Max, as Max will join the Camel Archer party. There's 6 Camel Archers already for Tim, so Tim's got the edge there, and Tim might even siege push a little bit there.
He's kind of forced Max into Camel Archers of his own, right? Max can't play that Knight into Cavalier role, and Max doesn't have anywhere to boom, Tristan. Like,
yeah, no space. Yeah, you can't even comfortably take the gold.
Oh, the Arambai are under the TC of Licks. Okay.
And how do they not kill that villager there?
They miss.
They missed.
Don't worry,
right
though.
In front of him.
He's got Kipchaks.
Get bloodlines, dude. Get 40 HP. Get bloodlines here, Licks. Your stables are cheaper. You have stables.
Yo is in the castle age. He's got enough stone for a castle, and he's got plenty of wood to start the boom.
TC for Rubenstock going to get denied by the Kipchaks, maybe. Very annoying timing because he had his army here a second ago, and he's actually okay.
Camel archers are now here from Tim, and you'd think camel archers would do pretty well against Erenbai, but at this stage in the game in Castle Age, Erenbai are actually decent against them. I've seen this matchup quite a few times.
How is Yo getting away with this? He's
don't
dropping
know.
a castle on Veleza right now. If it goes up, he gets his best unit, and it's a great position for a castle against Veleza.
And the crossbows are out of position.
Out of position.
And the mangonel is not on the way.
Wow.
Right? Like, and Yo has enough resources to think about. He could even just like go for a market. He has a market right now. He could buy stone and drop like 3 TCs behind this too. And the Shravamshas are here now from Vivi. And speaking of Vivi, he has 5 TCs.
He's expanded. And if the more I look at it, like the expansion to the right corner is going to be something that needs to be contested as well. But look, near Rubenstock's TC that he completed a moment ago.
Castle is being denied.
Oh, God.
You got to stop that. You got to stop that, Ruben. And it looks like Ruben is stopping it. He doesn't have enough vills to build that castle. He's sending some worry. He's got to sacrifice Erenbai numbers to keep this castle from being built. And the villagers are coming out once again. It's at 94%. He's got to stop it. He's got to stop it.
It's going to go up. And then Rubenstock might not get his castle up. Oh, man. What do you target here for your Licks, right? Because you obviously don't want the castle to go up. But, oh, man, okay, he doesn't target the Erenbai now that the Erenbai are gone, and it ended up being calculated there by Licks.
Oh, Vivi's killing so many vills, too, in Valis' base. Oh, God.
What a crazy team performance here from China, man. It looked so bad for multiple players. It looked risky for Tim to go for his castle. It didn't look like the timing was right, yada, yada, yada. But dang, man, Vivi's everywhere with his Ravamsha Riders. We've got 16 Camel Archers running around from Tim. Rubenstock's now falling apart on the other side because of Licks. And like everywhere I look right now for Rubenstock, he's actually either losing ground or losing eco. So impressive. They've got a 70 eco lead, China.
Yep.
70.
Vivi has killed 45 vills.
Insane game from Vivi.
Yeah. It's crazy. And all his eco is safe. Like, it's all safe on the side.
Yep. The Ravamsha Riders have truly been everywhere, like we said before. The Camel Archers from Tim trying to break into Rubenstock's base. Remember, this is the same guy that just had a castle denied. And there might even be another castle on him soon. And China up 2-1 right now. They go up 3-1. Finland would have to win 3 straight to make it to the grand finals. And I'm just seeing so many things happening to the Finnish players right now that nothing's positive, but we do have a castle from Veleza on the left. If he can get this up, he could start to change the flow of this game a little bit, something they desperately need.
I don't understand like why he didn't go for siege earlier against Yo. Your castle age against a feudal opponent.
Yep.
Take out the TC, right? Like just have some pressure. You wouldn't have to deal with that castle. Yo would be in a way worse position. Then all you'd have to deal with is Vivi.
I think this castle could get denied here. I mean, it's really close. If you focus the vills, at least more vills have to come later on, right? You're going to be able to kill these villagers if you attack the villagers, that is.
Well, that's a wall in your vill. Wall in one. Just,
the
just
one
get it
vill.
up. Just get it up.
One vill. Veleza.
Just get it up, dude.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Okay. Whew. Sheesh.
Yeah, that should be completely fine. We'll see. I imagine Yo is being annoying somewhere. Dude, look at Yo. He's got a Mangadai Mangonel push and now castle drop on Valis. And Valis's castle was denied. And of course, Vivi was there. Of course he was.
GG.
GG. Wow. Whoa, dude.
Well,
the pressure from China was insane there.
China is looking way stronger than they have early. This is making me nervous, actually. They were looking so strong, dude. They were looking so strong. It's like You obviously see the dilemma for Finland, right? Yo is still in feudal age for a very long time, and one of the worst things you can do is to double a guy who's already out of the game,
Yeah.
and try and defeat him entirely. But they didn't really kill any villagers from Yo, so they should have kind of had that in the back of their mind. We just need to at least target his TC and make sure his vills aren't running to wood at the back. But they never did that. They never really went super aggressive, and Vivi was free to do basically whatever he wanted.
Yeah. There was one player in this game that had zero disruptions early, and that was Vivi.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you're like, okay, that player has a good economy, but he's only helping one side. No, he was everywhere, man. He had Sravamshas to help Tim against the scouts and towers. He had Sravamshas in Valis's base, in Velez's base. And at one, like right now, he's even in Rubenstock's base.
Mm-hmm.
Vivi played amazing. And then the rest of the team had the perfect follow-up, whether it was the unit comp or just the positioning. But obviously, for this to happen, I think Yo needs to be respected for how he kept himself alive.
Yeah. Yo was...
how did he end up living here? It's insane.
Yo is so patient. And a lot of times when you're in a position like this, you kind of YOLO because you feel like you have to. Maybe you send 10 vills out to the woodline and try and get a lumber camp with walls down, and then they all die, and then you're in a worse position. Yo, waited for his opportunity, towered the stone, took the stone, towered the gold, then towered the fish, then towered the woodline, then just, played super slow. My question is... A lot of my questions surround, Valis here, right? He was running around with the scouts, but he never hit Vivi. He was only on the Cuman player. And then the Arambai only came to the Cuman player. Neither one of them went over to Vivi, which they could have done. The Arambai probably should have been over.
I think a double in feudal even with the archers and the scouts from Valis Veleza. If that happens to Vivi, then Vivi can't help everyone else.
Maybe.
By the way, Tim, I know he delayed his castle and everything. Look at this stat. He actually collected more res than anybody that game.
Yeah, Tim.
China... Before this series, I was like, how will Tim and Lix perform, right? Because we know that Vivi and Yo are going to be beastly. But they just have players that step up. And, Finland typically, it's Max, it's Veleza, Valis has his days. But we have not seen it from multiple players from Finland today. And they find themselves at a pretty big deficit here, pretty big hole to climb out of.
It is a hole that they are capable of climbing out of, though. And one of China's maps being Team Islands as a home map. I think they're good on Team Islands. Are they better than Finland? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I can see the potential for Finland coming back, right? There are 2 home maps and then Team Islands.
Mm-hmm. Especially with some of the civilizations available there too. Clearly, it feels like Finland's saving for the maps that incorporate water. If anything, they don't have civilizations that scream Chaos Pit to me. And I know Chaos Pit has kind of been throwaway civs anyways, like Magyars, Slavs, Goths, all those civs. So
they have Lithuanians, so they might save for 2 rivers. They have Bulgarians you can pick on that, right? You can go for... Oof. They've already used Goths. Ugh.
They'll probably have Byzantines. I think both teams will have Byzantines on Chaos Pit. God, I'm trying to remember.
China even has Poles, and this is old patch Poles.
Yeah, true. Yeah, hasn't the Sravamsha been nerfed as well recently? Will the Sravamshas perform that well today as they did right there? I don't know. I forget. Sravamsha has changed a lot since it's been introduced.
I think they got buffed, didn't they? In a way, there was a bunch of weird tweaks to them, rounding error tweaks.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't anything significant. God, there's just so many icons on my screen right now. It's trying to fix this draft. But we're getting to the end of the civilizations. That's the important thing. China having Portuguese for islands is huge, though. It's interesting they prioritize Portuguese earlier than Italians or Japanese. It's that important for late game.
It's a lot of, Vikings team bonus is great, though. Having Italians there is amazing as well. Japanese with the Vikings team bonus is really nice.
Yep.
And then you have like Sicilians available for both teams, which is fantastic as a pocket on Team Islands. Go Huns as well. Seen that from the Chinese players before.
Whoa, they're actually going Chaos Pit. Whoa. I mean, I think the approach from Finland here is you've got to win every game. So it doesn't matter the order. Just go for it. And perhaps try your hardest game, the game that is the most difficult now. That way you have more confidence going into Team Islands and Two Rivers with all those water sieves. I love Chaos Pit, and I love Finland on Chaos Pit. So I'm pumped to see it.
It's the map they took from Canada. It was our home map, and they took it from us. So, and I don't mind the civs. I was thinking like maybe the civs look a little bit better for China on Chaos Pit, and I think they have some good ones. They have Khmer, Poles, Magyars, and Byzantines. We look at the civs here from Finland: Saracens, Aztecs, Khmer, Byzantines. So the difference here is Aztec and Poles, and then Saracens and Magyars.
I like Saracens because without gold, you can do some funky things. Their late game's also pretty good. But I think it could be awkward to know what unit to make with them. Am I going to go camels? Am I going to go archers? Normally they're going archers.
Like, it's difficult. Very.
Yeah.
Or monks.
But if you don't have gold with Aztecs, if you're not getting to the outer ring, you're in big trouble.
Yeah. Atlatl kicks in pretty late to really come into effect there.
True. It's funny you mentioned that, though, because I remember the last time I covered this map, there was a lot of skirms at the end. I don't think it was Aztec skirms, though.
Okay.
So all right.
Welcome in, everyone. Chaos Pit. And this is the pit where the chaos is conducted in the center. If you're not familiar with this map, there is 4 tiles of wood or 4 things, 3 trees, I guess it is now. You need to chop out to get to the gold and the stone and whatnot on the outside. There's some stone in the middle, 2 berry bushes, and then deer. No boars here.
Yep, no boars. And we will see villagers venture forward sometimes on the flanks in order to shoot down some of the other deer, but I'm not seeing any shenanigans right now. So I'm still getting my bearings here on how this would play out. So we've got, at least on the flanks, we'll talk about it. Everyone's kind of a flank in that they're really close to the action here. We've Rubenstock for Finland, and then he's up against Byzantines for Tim. So it's Aztecs, Byzantines there. And there's no gold in the middle, right? So there's a big question on what Aztecs will do because they can't make scouts, right? And then the other flank, you've then got Vivi playing Poles. You get some gold when you mine the stone, so I could see a tower rush for Vivi. And then we've got Veleza playing Byzantines. So we have Byzantines holding down the flanks from both sides. And then just some civilizations that play out a bit more uniquely, you could say.
Also important to point out is Vivi now goes for the closer lumber camp. He's not going to start chopping away on the edge. He'll leave his pocket to do that. He will collect gold from the stone. So he's the only civ here that can just naturally collect gold from the resources available.
Yep.
Also, we've seen the Poles very often go for a villager rush, so we'll see if he tries to vill rush maybe the lumber camp, which is usually where you go after. A little bit.
Sometimes you can have both your berries forward, and that would have been a disaster if you're up against Poles. Fortunately for Veleza, his berry bushes are separated. But we have 4 lumber camps on the outside for Finland. Whereas for China, we have 2, and it's just the middle players of the pocket players. And I know Finland's going to be shift queuing. I know they're going to be commanding those villagers to go from the right trees time after time and get through. I'm not sure if China is as much of a guarantee on that for me. Finland does it all the time. They were through against Canada in that amazing game where they ended up going down in the series 4-3 to Canada.
Villager gonna die?
Tim
Dead.
goes down.
The scout also goes down for Max though.
Yeah.
So now it's kind of a 2v1 situation in terms of scout numbers over on that side, and Rubenstock's scout is pretty weak as well, but he's already walled off his woodline. It's probably going to be letting Max know to wall off his woodline, and Max has a house he can jump into, basically walled. And then the other 2 Finns might need to worry about that later.
Yeah, what they're doing now, Finland, is all a result of that right there. They know there's going to be an extra scout out there, and they're going to be looking for some revenge.
Oh, look at that full work placement in between the 2 berries. I was thinking, Mill wouldn't be ideal there for Vivi. But the full work
That's true.
Grabs 2 of them.
I guess it is a little awkward for the farms, but yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I could.
your starting mill a lot of the times is in a rough spot anyway for the full work farms.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I placed one the other day, which people were making fun of me for, and I was like, I'm thinking of the farms, guys. And then I died. So that was a great story. I'm glad I brought that up.
Yeah, it's good. I like the ending.
Scouts engaging on the left side here. Very close. Teamwork's needed here. And it looks like for China, Yo decided to split off. Actually, both players have a weak scout heading back. Valis is kind of stuck, though. He's not able to head back towards a teammate's TC. Let's see if Yo's going to build a little gate here just to block the pathing. Boop. There you go.
Feudal Age is on the way.
Seems like it's enough.
Feudal Age is on the way for Lix here. Should be on the way soon for Max as well. No, Max is going to be delayed, so he's going to be like a villager in a bit behind Lix. Pretty late up for Khmer. And we'll see how quickly Lix has those scouts on the field.
Is it just me, or did Max... Does he have to walk further to that wood line? I'm trying to look at it.
Maybe like a couple tiles further than
bit.
Lix, but he's also gone like he hasn't gone to the closest part of the wood line.
Yep,
he's gone
exactly.
to the corner.
But you'll notice he's got those 2 villagers. I think you just let all the other villagers chop efficiently, and then you just have 2 villagers on one tree all the way through the line. He's almost through.
He's gonna be through.
But actually,
really
as
quick.
I say that, Lix is gonna be through any second now.
Oh wow, Lix was quick, dude.
Yep. All right, so not bad there. This is common. Both teams walling up diagonally towards the flanks, town centers. And we oftentimes see a team wall across the middle as well, because there will be lots of scouts out.
Going to be a tower here from Vivi.
Yep.
He will probably go for an archer range as well, and then a tower and try and push the berries and the stone over here from Valessa. Valessa is Byzantine, so he could go for a tower and try and win that tower war. But he doesn't have as many vills.
Also, I mean, the tower, if it goes up here, it denies the only safe berries and a stone. Oh, you don't want to build it there. You do not want to build it there, Vivi, because a villager can attack
it. Yep.
Diagonally.
And also, you can't squeeze all your vills in there to work on that tower.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a double negative.
You are poles, though, so I suppose on some level you're like, well, my villagers heal up. We're still denying resources here, so it's not awful, but I like how he's going to mix in spearmen, too.
See what Valessa did? He made a palisade there, so Vivi couldn't hop over with a vill.
Oh,
but he loses a villager. Oh, very sloppy there. He was focused on something else, I think. Very sloppy to lose that vill.
Okay, another tower from China. They want to win this series right here and go to the grand final against Canada. That's, another tower on berries. And we will have lots of scouts out, though. So if you're going to have villagers, you need to have spearmen nearby to protect.
It's so interesting to me because, like, the Chaos Pits, it's probably been the least played map in this tournament. But the Chaos Pit games I've seen so far, the only people that team wall like this early are Finland.
Yeah, true.
And it's clearly part of their plan because they're doing exactly like they did with Canada. They're kind of ceding the middle of the map control to China. And they're just going to play the outside edge.
Yep. Yeah, and I wonder if they're going to be bold enough to send villagers. This is for either team. To send villagers to the outside and try and wall off the other's lumber camps. Because that is a strategy.
And Valis, oh man.
And Valis is probably hearing a lot from his flank, right? Because of the tower rush, and he probably was looking to support there. Wasn't able to keep track because he was trying to get the walls down, and that's precisely what Vivi's doing, just pressuring those walls, towering those walls, forcing Valeza to build the tower even behind that. It's looking very awkward for the Finns right now. Look at Lix. Lix supporting against the Max. Notice the difference here. He knows it needs time to get the walls up, and Max wasn't able to get through.
Okay, goes for another defensive tower, and this is starting to look like an arena in the center here. Like a battle arena or something where they just fight because full team walls on every side.
Oh, Tim takes a bad fight there against the spearman from Rubenstock. Looks away for a second. Not sure exactly what he was looking at. He might be looking at the weird tower that Rubenstock built on his wood line. And here comes Rubenstock with more villagers here. So lots going on. I want to Mention again that Yo has even more scouts through now. He's got 6 scouts. It's going to be annoying to everyone for Finland.
They're pretty
and
weak.
Yo's been super patient here.
They are pretty weak, so he's got to be careful.
Yeah,
it's like
true.
130, 116 out of 270 total HP. And now there's some scouts over here from Valis. So if Valis notices they're that weak, he can just engage against them. And then once Yo is down to like 1 or 2 scouts, it's basically done. Towers, more towers coming around the front side of this wall. And this is looking very reminiscent to the Canada-Finland set. Because if you remember there, Chris went for towers all the way along the wall too.
Yep. Dude, I love this map. I love this meta. It's so different. It's so fun. Like, we still have the conversation of gold that needs to be mined. Yo's found gold. I'm sure everyone's going to be able to find gold. Everyone seems to be out. Max is actually adding scouts on the outer ring right now. So he's going to be looking to stop the enemy from moving out and maybe even finding vills. Lix has villagers exposed, for example.
That's actually really nice. That's a really, really nice touch. And we can see the vills now from Valessa taking a journey. Is he looking for the cut from Yo, or is he trying to wall off the side?
I think he might be trying to wall up, not knowing that Vivi isn't going to be chopping through. Yo still has scouts. He did lose most of his scouts, but he still got 2, and that's enough to kill villagers. Enough to be annoying in a crucial moment.
Speaking of towers, man, Rubenstock is towering around along the front side of Lix's base, and they're all working away on that stable, and Lix is forced into another tower of his own. So on one side, we have Vivi pushing with the towers on the walls from Finland, and then we have Rubenstock pushing it with the towers on the walls from China.
And if this wall breaks at any point, all hell will ensue in your eco. And not just your eco, but your neighbor's eco. So it's so important. Like, this is the first tower that Lix has built. He's going to take quite a few losses here in his farms as well. He has to be very careful.
He's got scouts on the gold at the back. Let's see if he even notices that. He's going to be paying attention at the front. Like, he might not even notice.
And they'll communicate this too. They'll be like, keep him busy, break through. This is huge for the team morale right now.
Oh, and he chopped! He over-chopped! Oh, no! Oh,
Where?
No! At the back,
Oh,
Lix.
no, the scouts can get through.
Oh,
Wait,
he notices.
Khmer, though.
He noticed.
He's
I know,
Khmer.
but the reason he was losing the vills is because he didn't notice. And now he notices. Okay, so disaster averted.
Also, it's not looking too good for Finland because Yo is through with Magyar scouts. The walls have been breached. And there's, like, no defense for this, really. Oh, God. Valeza's trying his best to hold.
He's done a
There's
decent
not even
job.
many spearmen here.
He's done a decent job. Lix is also in with some scouts on the other side. Max is on the way to Castle Age, though. Max is up.
Also, Valis has scouts on Yo on the outside.
Oh, my God.
And then we have a tower from Vivi against a tower from Valeza. So there's a lot of nonsense right here.
And Valis is about to click up himself. So Finland will have 2 players to the Castle Age first.
Yep, it's a fair point.
Lix is going to lose his scouts against the spears there from Valis. He runs away. And now there's another tower from Vivi. Now on the farming eco from Valis.
All the names like Vivi, Valis, Valeza, and then this map. Very confusing for the brain.
And there's a tower now on
Tim.
Max from Tim, who's decided to become part of the action here with the Byzantines.
I was going to say, we hadn't actually seen Tim do much in a while here.
Yo has a lot of scouts over by Valesa's walls on the outside.
But he just missed that Vill. No, he didn't. Never mind. He could kill all these villagers here. And he's stopping the wall off, which is the important thing. Well done there, Yo. Who's had a great game here. This has been fantastic. Much better than the previous game, obviously, which was Nomad. Bad things happened. Max has also had a great game. And Max is 30 seconds away from being up. Killed another villager on Lix on the outside.
Yep.
But now you have Lix on the outside attacking Rubenstock's villagers on the gold. And this is just going to be another instance where a player does not notice because they've got towers or whatever else happening on different areas of the map.
Yo is
God.
combing this area at the south with his scouts, looking for more villagers. And the vills from Rubenstock go down in the north as he is forced to send some spearmen. But he is walling forward there. So they're securing quite a bit of map. And with Max now in Castle Age, maybe he can push this back. Valis is about to be in Castle Age himself. Lix is almost there as well, as Vivi goes for more towers in the center of their base.
What a mess, dude. What a mess. We have immediate +2 armor for Max, so his knights and leftover scouts are going to be quite strong. We have a signal from Tim as if to say, hey, dude, can I take your gold?
And Lick says, yeah, go ahead, dude. I haven't had much
go ahead.
success.
Kill that scout while you're at it, please.
Be my guest, bro.
Yeah, I love Velez's damage control here. The stone walls behind this was so important.
He's also got a Vil
Yes, it's
still
bad,
alive.
but it could be worse.
Maybe. Live for a limited time. Yo might find that.
Yeah, Yo spotted it. Look at the towers from Vivi. We haven't been able to look at this. He built quite a few towers between the Max and between Veleza, and that is just so freaking annoying. Because that's something you have to respect right now if you're Valis. You don't want to have to deal with that right now, though. You want to send your knights elsewhere. We'll see if
Max
those knights could ever break through.
Sending some knights over to help Rubenstock, and Tim has 3 towers on Rubenstock's face.
Yep.
Actually, 4.
I think it's going to be a castle for Tim, honestly. He's really saving up the stone, and it would fully break the walls. But again, he does need to remember to prioritize the outside as well.
Yep.
Because that's really important. And speaking of, walls still not fully completed for Finland, and Lix is just on it time and time again here. He's got scouts in this area. So they should be able to stop that full wall if there's a follow-up of knights in that area as well.
God, these towers from Vivi are so annoying. You can't even clear it up with Castle Age stuff. There's too many.
Nope. Too many. There's villagers inside. Spearmen even hopped inside. Finland's falling apart here, Dave. The favorite coming into this tournament could be out here. This would essentially be 3rd place, right?
Yep.
If they lose this.
And there's forward walls coming from Yo. I mean, they were the heavy favorite, too. Like, if you ask anyone, it was just Finland all the way. And there was... It was basically like, who's second favored?
Oh, but, look at the knight from Lix. Kills the villager that was just about to drop the gate foundation. And look at the castle from Valis. Oh, God. I mean, it's going to go up, but is that really where you want to place a castle?
Well, I mean, it will take out these 3 towers, which are incredibly annoying, not only to him, but his ally, as Valesa now clicks up. So, all of the players from Finland are going to be in Castle Age, and Tim is going to be the last player to the Castle Age for sure here.
And
maybe that's
we'll
something.
have enough stone to build a castle. Or at least he will. I don't know what the price is at this point, but he could buy a little bit more. But I don't even know if that's necessary, honestly. I would want to see, right now from China, I want to see them stonewall their side, kind of where Lix is. Probably more towards the corner, but wall that up so counterattacks are never possible. Because if you don't do that, then Max is going to be able to bring this back for his team. And you can see now, while Lix has delayed the walls, that maybe the walls will eventually go up for Rubenstock, and Max is just passing right through the gate with knights. And Max has 3 TCs. He hasn't been touched. Well, as I say, that Vivi's got some knights, but he hasn't been attacked a lot here.
Yeah, he's kept himself safe from the tower push earlier as well. Tim is on the way up to Castle Age now, and Tim has enough stone for a castle. Rubenstock does not. Yeah. So how Rubenstock's going to defend against that castle drop, potentially, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Oh, man, Yo is just passing right through into Valeza's eco. Time and time again. Veleza, he escaped before when they played Canada on this map. So it looks like he's actually escaped with a fair amount of villagers again.
Yeah, and his allies should be safe. I mean, Mamluks, he's found a situation where Mamluks will be pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good point. Does he have any gold, though? There's actually no gold income for Valis
Saracens,
right now.
dude. He has gold.
Max trying to bring the game back for his team, getting some raids in. Lix sees it, though, has TCs this time around. So that should be okay. And all right, Tim, where's your castle, buddy? It's got to be forward. Has to be, right?
Yep. It's going to be right beside his tower there, I think.
I was going to say, do you delete the tower so you can get the
delete
best castle spot possible?
Walls. You just delete the walls. You get the tower right beside the cat. You could have squeezed it in there.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, castle's going to go up. He made sure to commit to it with 17 villagers. And, oh, Yo is through. He's in the back now. Oh, that's going to be so annoying for Finland. Because that could go right over to the Max. Or stay here, obviously.
We need more Mamluks here from Valis to deal with that for sure. But there's also monks here. There's monks from Vivi, and there's towers from Vivi. Valesa will do a great job here, quick walling this off, so the knights can't come in. But it's a very limited amount of space here for Valis and Valesa now to try and boom. And Vivi is adding towers. Like Vivi has played the perfect support role here.
He's been amazing today. He's really been good. Like this has been peak Vivi the last couple rounds of Nations Cup for China. And okay, a little bit of a trap here from Valis. That could maybe do something, but at the end of the day, you still have all these villagers exposed and lots of idols.
Don't look now, but Rubenstock has a sneak base in the back of Lix's.
True. I mean, they need something, dude. They need something to go their way here, and maybe a sneak base is it. Vivi's so annoying, man. We have a pause now. Hopefully everything's okay.
Even got guard tower, like, oh my god.
And he got light cav because he saw a monk, and you could see he actually killed a monk with the light cav a second ago. It's the forward staple. Like, that's it. And obviously behind it, it's Vivi, so he's going to have economy as well, adding the third town center soon. Just feels so cramped right now if you are Veleza and if you are Valis. And there's no potential for a counterattack. You have to constantly react to this, constantly deal with this, and basically hope that Max and Rubenstock can make it happen on the other side.
And Max is on 80 Vils, right? He hasn't been producing knights because he's trying to boom, and he's adding his 5th TC.
Yep.
So maybe he can get something done. I'd love to see them while they have this opportunity. Maybe Rubenstock even stonewall more forward on the top side if you feel like you're going to lose this area on the south.
I think you need to have stone walls prepped where your passageway is from the middle to the outside. You do not want to allow enemy army to run through there. We have Imp for Tim. Fast Imp.
Timp.
It's Timp. Yeah, let's go.
And he's thinking about maybe where are the villagers going? I don't know. He was on the berries remaining there. He's confused on where to send the vills now, but he sends them through.
They have no jobs. They have no jobs. But yeah, I mean, you could make a Treb or two. I honestly do not agree with the fast imp, but he is Byzantines. So if any civilization is going to be able to spam army off of low eco, would be the Byzantines.
Valis just can't even like do anything with these Mamluks. I mean, he's making some, but he needs another entrance into this area. He's going to dive through the guard towers and hope that Vivi doesn't see to wall him off. Take the monk on the way.
Oh, man, all these towers going up. Vivi taking so much control. How's Rubenstock doing? Rubenstock's push has been noticed now. He's building a TC.
And you know what? That was the player who was closest. Lix was the player for a long time who was closest to the boom in terms of villager count from Max.
Yeah,
so Rubenstock is delaying him a lot. And maybe Yo is even going to need to come over there at some point to help him out. And Yo's knights are now being cleared up by the Mamluks. So finally, Valis finds some value with that. And Finland, we can see a way back.
Yeah, and Vivi's villagers are not going to be able to conveniently build towers if they're tracked. We'll see if they are. I guess the next problem then is you're going to have a pike tower push from Tim through the middle. But Tim makes it to Imp just now. We'll see if he can protect his Trebs. Things are going to get real easy for Yo now, though, because he's on the way to Imp. He doesn't have to micro that army anymore. And he's actually going for light cav, so he's not going to have a big cavalier mass.
He's going for... No, he's going for cav archers with the Magros here.
Credit to Rubenstock for getting through here. He had such a hard time walling up, but he got his eco in a good spot. And
attack
this
round?
is something... Oh, the big attack round and a nice split. This is something that could pay off here. That's a great engagement for Rubenstock.
That is amazing for Rubenstock. Oh my god, he's going to get, what, 2 mangonels from this? Okay, might get more. But still, amazing value.
Yeah, I agree. Because Lix can't go Imp. Lix has to continue to make more army, but it looks like it was calculated from him because he just wanted to stop the siege from being able to stop this castle, and that's actually very well done from him. And that castle will put an end to the siege push on that side at least.
Look at Vivi in the back of Valessa Valis' eco. It's getting murder holes for these 2 fills in this tower.
And again, Valis has to drop a castle, which he would have never wanted to place because of this nonsense. Even Veleza as well.
Yeah.
And this castle for Valis might not go up. There's a mangonel there.
There is. Vivi is an absolute demon today.
Wow.
All right.
By the way, Tim is kind of progressing and he's got Trebs taking out the house wall right now.
Yep.
Which I guess on the bright side, there's a lot of houses there, so that could do something.
I mean, they're gonna be pop capped, right? And that's annoying when you're trying to. It's really annoying when you're trying to mass up an army in early Imperial Age. Valessa, well, he's still on the run and he's losing a lot of ills trying to get these walls behind. As Yo is now taking everything with these cav archers. It's just crazy. Finland's in a position they've been in before many times where Max will need to carry them with the big eco.
If there would have been a stone wall from China in the north, I think this game would have maybe already ended, right? Yep. But Lix was open. Lix took some damage, but at the end of the day, Lix is held from it. That's Max's way of bringing this game back, is he has to go kill Lix there. But, I mean, look at what's happening to Valis in the middle. He's losing his castle now. Great economy for Tim, by the way, on the back of the fast imp. He's at 85 vills now with 20 pikes.
Magyar CA. Oh, my God. It's going to be so difficult. I want more games, Tristan. I want more games.
I wanted at least
It's been
6
too
today.
good. I know.
But you got to say, China's just stepped it up, man. And they have had Tim deliver and carry when need be. Yo, obviously. But then Vivi and Lix as well.
I like
We've
how...
had unique strategy, unique use of civilizations. And the good news for them is they don't have to show Canada some of the strategies they maybe have in store for the final if they had maybe looked at a new playbook.
If they win this game, they're definitely favored here from this position, but we've seen Max carry before, and now Ballista Elephants are out from Lix, so he can make his own hole in the wood lines. I like how Max has fully walled off his allies on the other side. He probably did that earlier, but he's just like, yeah, I need to keep myself safe. Thanks. Good luck, boys. And Valessa is now on the run.
It's just there's so many units that counter him out there. It will be Halb from Byzantines. And the Cav Archers, I guess, might not be seen as a counter, but Magyar Cav Archers are some of the strongest Cav Archers there are. So that's going to be tough to stop as well. It's not like you're going to have a lot of backup here when Valis and Valeza are both in reboom mode. The only bright side here is that you still have lots of access to stone and gold if you need it.
Rubenstock's at 120 vills. Rubenstock's on the way to him. He's got a good setup, but again, he's Aztecs.
Yep.
I guess you just need him for the trebs, and that's it. Pikes.
And this is where this becomes a problem for Max, and Max can't help anymore because he needs to defend himself. We have the 4 trebs from Tim. You see Max's castle there. Would love to see the Halb upgrade still from Tim. It looks like he'll probably get it soon. He's just saving up some gold. Yo is through, but there's another layer of walls. Great job from Finland to add these walls, because otherwise it would be completely over. But pretty soon those petards are going to bust through, and Yo's going to be able to move in here. And there he goes. Great timing there from Yo.
Dude, it feels like Max has been imp forever, and what are we...
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing? Where are we?
I think he canceled the Cavalier upgrade, by the way. He definitely had it. But he's just on light cav.
Maybe he doesn't have that much gold access. I see gold access there. He's trying to add trade now, so he's trying to get himself set up for later.
Yeah.
He's trying to repair his castle as well, but there's 5 trebs attacking that. That castle's not going to stay alive.
It's 140 army versus 70, but that 140 army from China it's being used, right? It's active. It's not on the way. It's constantly in the right positions. And here comes Vivi as if he could be any more annoying, and he's got winged hussar. So he's just going to be streaming hussars in from these stables to raid. Castle down for Max.
Is Max maybe thinking, like, I'm going light cav, and then if I get my eco to a good spot with trade, I can switch into elephants and win us a game? Like, that's the game-winning move?
I think that's exactly what it is.
Because, like, he knows that Cavalier isn't really going to get him anything here, right? Like, it's going to kill maybe a couple villagers, clear up an army or 2, but it's not going to be the thing to push back these heavy cav archers from the Magyars.
Look at Lix try and wall in this TC in the north right now. He just wants to exist there for as long as possible.
Let him cook. Let him cook, dude. He's like a little baked potato in the tinfoil in the oven.
Because they're trading there, right? Like, he has to know how important that is. Max is already waiting with the trade cards. But Dave, like, they're going to lose the other side. Also, the elite Mameluke castle for Valis. He only has 7 of them anyways.
It's going to come in. It won't come in.
No, it won't come in.
Rubenstock's got a good push in the north.
That's true. I really thought he was going to lose that position. I keep forgetting that that's there because it's so disconnected from the rest of this stuff happening. And if Max could kill the town center from Licks and then follow it up with some light cap, it'd be nice to have some support there.
Oh my god, Tim's trying to treb through the wood line, and now Valessa is like, where do I wall? Do I wall this angle? Do I wall that angle? I don't know where to wall. He's trying to do whatever he can. He knows he's out of the game. He's on the way to Imp somehow from that TC that's probably going to get trebbed down. But he's at 56 villagers, and he's just trying to do whatever he can. And Byzantine fortified wall, not the worst to help his team out.
Agreed. Like to see, I mean, clearly Licks is telling his team, Rubenstock's not going to kill me here. Like, this is fine. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Look at the eco numbers. It's almost even.
I know, it's ridiculous. It's insane, but that is because Max is 170 eco right now. So the problem is Max needs more military to help. It feels like a lot of that eco is going to disappear as the Halbs are denying more walls here. More and more desperation gates and walls from Finland.
Oh, that's the MTC. That's the MTC. No! That's the MTC.
It's all right. I mean, he's a waller, right? He doesn't need him for anything else. He's just going to wall up. He has fortified wall already. Changes nothing.
Elite Mammoth is in, and he's making some more. But that's a lot of military there from China. But in the north, the push is on.
The push is on. Like, Yo needs to send cav archers here. If Yo has cav archers here, this is different. But again, the communication is probably just hold on, Licks, because we're going to kill them here.
Bro, it's going to take a long... Look at the amount of castles from Finland here, though.
Yeah.
It's going to take a long time to push this, and there's nothing up here from Team China.
Licks could die. He's building backup castles. Remember, the trade is right behind all of this.
Siege Onager on the way from Valis. Siege Onager with Mameluke. No way. Is Max slinging him?
Probably.
Max has sent 17k res. If we're wondering what Max is doing with his res, he sent 17k. Amazing gate from Valis to trap those hussars in there.
But Dave, there's so many trebs from China. These castles are not going to last long. This is crazy. I mean, the castles, they will go down. If this Siege Onager upgrade comes in soon and can get some big shots on the trebs, not even the cav archers, just the trebs, to keep these castles up longer, maybe Rubenstock could do the job on the other side. Rubenstock's still making progress, but I'm not seeing the army count he had before, and Licks is Arbalest with Cavalier now. It seems like he just needed an answer to Pikeman, and he's now found it.
Siege Onager is really close. The cav archers are coming in. Siege Onager is coming in. There's Onagers there from Valis. There's a lot of castles there from Valis. And elephants are being mixed in from Max. They have Treb cut in to the main ring near Lix's and Tim's Eco. But all of the Trebs went down from Rubenstock in the north. So they managed to stabilize up there. Lix now shifting into Arbalest. Siege Onagers can get some massive shots against these Halbs. Oh!
Nice. Counterweights is in, by the way. I think it's the first time I've seen that tech research.
Oh my god!
In this tourney.
They're pushing it back.
There's no way they're pushing it. Like, can they actually? Can they actually? It would be an insane comeback.
Let's see.
Oh man, big SO shots is what we want, Dave. We want more games.
Go, go,
big
go!
Shots,
shoot!
go.
Oh!
My god, dude! And
Mamlukes! SO!
Suddenly, maybe there's a hope. It's still probably a dream for Finland, but even the Hussars can't get in close enough to the Siege Onagers because of the Mamps.
Lix is pushing back on the other side. Onager on the way for Rubenstock. We might have a double Onager special here. I love the towers behind from Vivi. Just kind of lock down this position. Valis going for another castle. They need to hold this trade line. Somehow, they need to hold it. Their Nations Cup dreams are riding on this right now.
Yo's not going to make the same mistake twice here. He's intentionally losing a couple CA. Okay, well, just to kill the Siege Onagers. Did make the same mistake.
True.
But there's another cut, right? It's not the only threat. There's another cut coming in closer to the markets, and there's a cut from Tim, and he's basically busted right through to the trade. Look at all the towers there.
Oh, wow. That explains why the villager count for Finland keeps dropping here, even though they're expanding to the north there.
And a castle.
And Lix is pushing
That's got
now.
to be it then. Yep, that's got to be it then. They're losing on all fronts. They're down 300 population. They're down 200 military. The siege onagers aren't strong enough to bring that back.
And Ruben stock is Aztecs too, so it's kind of like, what do you do, right?
What do you do? Yep.
Onager is coming
Monk.
for the Arbalest, but Lix is actually playing really well here. GG! Oh my god, dude, China beast mode.
Yeah, China played insane today, Dave. Game 1 was incredible. Game 2 was incredible. But like from game to game, you just look at how consistent China was. The fact they won the previous game after how rough the start was for Yo, their best player. Yo, obviously insane here, but China moves on. And you said it, you're Canadian. You are actually on Team Canada.
Yes.
You are there. And you said, I'm a little nervous watching China here for my Canada because of how good they played. They definitely stepped it up and have gotten better as this tourney's gone on. The one thing I'll say, though, the important thing to remember in a double elimination tourney, when that final happens between Canada and China, Canada starts with one win, which is huge.
Yep. And that'll bleed over to the map draft. Like then we start looking. They have 2 nomad starts, right? And that's the Chinese specialty. We already got 1 win, so we can basically give up one of those.
Yeah, and then China might need to take some risks, and if they take risks, it could lead to a scoreline more along the lines of this 4-1 here. But if China can beat Finland 4-1, they could get the wins and avoid losing exactly against Canada when that final happens. But, I mean, shout out to Finland, obviously. You guys had an amazing run. It says how good Finland is if this is a disappointment for them to get 3rd place. But an amazing series. I wanted more games, right? I think we always do because these teams are so good. And my favorite thing about Vivi's play today and like Tim's play is how they do not hesitate to use towers. Bombard towers, keeps, always fortifying pushes.
It's the support role from China. It's like all these players can go from support to, well, it's the same thing with Finland and Canada, honestly. Just the best teams have those players that can go from supporting player, aka monks, towers, siege, to the boom player and the carry player, right? Like we saw Vivi carry on Nomad with Spanish when he needed to. We saw Tim be the support player and then carry on Nomad when he needed to. Here we saw Vivi be the support player and then Yo be the carry player. It's the versatility. And then Lix was just doing all sorts of stuff up in the north. Like to hold there was pretty nice, honestly.
Yeah. Just trusting each other, experience, and exciting run from China. We'll see how it all ends. Whenever that final is, I don't think we actually know.
It's not confirmed yet, but it's gonna be,
we'll figure that out.
I'm excited. It's gonna be great, and this is a surprise. I thought it would be like 7 games, 6 games at least. I knew China was looking better, but I still thought Finland would come up on top.
I thought Finland would win here today as well. China really, they brought a level I didn't know that they could reach in 2023. I know Vivi, he used to be seen as top 10 in 1v1s and really isn't now. And, you know, period last year maybe is kind of iffy. Okay, how good is this guy really at the game? Even though he's still a beast. But yeah, he looked insane. And then Tim as well, dude. Like Tim barely plays the game compared to everyone else in our scene. He's one of those classic pros dating all the way back to like 2010 era. And he looked incredible as well. So I think there's a lot of motivation for China. And there's a lot of like, you know, home. What am I looking for here? There's a lot of country pride, right?
Oh, there'll be a pressure.
And there's a lot of
yeah.
There's a pressure for the fans, but also on themselves because they know how much it means to them and their teammates and their fans. So it was a good cast. I enjoyed it. I wanted to show the KD though for Veleza. If you still have it up, it's probably one of the worst. It's even worse than what Lick had in the Black Forest game.
I don't want to look at it, dude, because I don't remember him killing a unit. Maybe a knight that came in.
So it's 0.06 KD.
Dude, that's like under the legal limit, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
he's not allowed to play the game for a week now. 8 kills, 132 deaths. So yeah, that was painful. Obviously, a lot of pressure went in on him that game.
Oh boy. That's crazy. Also, I have to mention, because I saw it pointed out a few times, I think the draft was a little bit weird from Finland in terms of the maps. Like we didn't see Arena, we didn't see Hideout, right? And the bans come in later, so it's a little bit strange.
Yeah,
Against
what were
China.
the... It's interesting. They banned migration, which I wouldn't have expected. Yeah, I don't know. You are right. Maybe after a loss, you say, why wouldn't you try and play Arena against China, who isn't really known for it? So,
Who
but I
knows?
think
It's
the
all
biggest thing I'll
hindsight.
say,
It's all hindsight.
and it is all hindsight. I think the biggest thing I'd say is they didn't do themselves any favors stacking so many civs from their uppermost draft on the same map
Yeah, in
because
BF,
they
a
had
map that's like an auto win anyway.
yeah, yeah, like they used 3 on Black Forest, and they used 3 on another map as well, I think. And so if you lose one of those games, it really leaves the rest of your draft lopsided. Kind
Mm-hmm.
of did a better job of splitting it up. I think they went 2, 2, and 2 in some of the games, and even skipped it a bit in others.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, I had fun casting, man. Thanks for hopping on.
I did too.
It was a short series compared to what we thought it could be, but obviously pretty long series. I think it was a 4-hour set
Running
either
4
way.
hours.
But I'll see you around. We'll definitely have to cast some because with King of the Desert coming up and whenever Nations Cup final is, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, dude. All right. I'll see you later, man. Have a good
Yep.
weekend.
See ya. You too, man.